Enter. Enter. Islam. Days game. How you feeling? I'm well. How much? 444. Give me 2 bags. Yes, sir. Okay, yeah. I'm do right now. You know what? This is for me. Thanks. Yeah, this is for the family. All right. Jesus. Oh man, beautiful. Peace. Thanks. It's a healthy one right there. It got seeds in it. That's one got seeds in it. It got seeds in it. It broke the scale. We need a whale scale now. Yes, sir, man. Yes, greetings. Peace, brother. Peace be unto you.
It's so magnetic. It was recognized as ultra. They weaponized the culture. They recognized the vultures. It's so magnetic. It was recognized as ultra. They weaponized the culture. We went from Eugene Adams, searching for the blacks in China, to searching through these back pages for some black China and some black vagina. We went from the UNIA and the black starliners to some black masons, black shriners, buying crack from the miners. Went from dapper damn black designers to some Gucci turtlenecks, black joint. We was moving on up, Sherman Helmsley. But the shooters ain't shooting on up. It's nightmares on Elm Street. Computers ain't booting on up. I'm dream chasing through the Jason months. As above, so below. We was adjacent once. Rethink your fears. They drink your tears. While you waking up for delinquent years, the distinctive years, crack page, black rage, Beanie Siegel backstage, state property, crack cage, hell up in Harlem, the black plagues, Luke Cage, going through his crack rage, captured, bulletproof zombies, raptured, toothless blondies, carving a piece, ruthless Gandhis, starving for peace, no disguise for the vulture's eyes, most survive, but their cultures die. Look at Scarface through Sosa's eyes. Approach the guys and get posterized. Or dropped into acid, emulsified. All of your media is socialized. When they see us and they start acting goofy, we smacking goofies, they bad and bougie. I'm a timeless royal, times of turmoil. Phyllis Thomas on Thomas Boyle. Flaxseed oil, black winter boil. Color of the backstreet soil with orange coils. We the lost attraction of your course of action. If she look like Penny for a good time, I toss her Jackson. Me in the carbon is quantum entangled. I'm dripping in carrots, the sponsors a jangle. If I had to decide to fade to Billy Bates, I say young chopper's ass like Philly steak. Shit, I gave birth to a lady killer. Object and desire to Mercedes dealers. A hard pill they soon to swallow. Wherever I go, all these drones, they soon to follow. I resisted the urge and persisted to purge. Protect the hood from the pecker wood. In my neck of woods, delectable Negroes say they neck is good. Protect the wood, protect this wood. 36 chambers, Inspector Deck was good. What's good, my nigga?
All right, there you have it. Sherman Hemsley off that Red Summer album. Shout out to all of my supporters who went and got that Red Summer album. I literally just got this shit yesterday, bro. I promise you, I shit you not. The people that I don't even want to talk about it. I really don't. I don't like making excuses, but we just got a new shipment in. That Red Summer album. I'm signing all of the ones that I send out exclusively. To be honest with you, don't even put this shit in your CD player. Put it up somewhere so it could mean something later on down the line. When a nigga autograph means, you know what I'm talking about? Imagine if you had something from Nipsey that was signed. Think about it. Think about it. All right? So, I don't know if y'all celebrate holidays. I'm not on here on some Santa Claus shit. And I'm not on here on some Grinch shit either. But I wanted to be consistent. So I missed Third Eye Thursday last night. And I said to myself, you know what? If in case niggas is into gifts and whatnot, maybe this broadcast could be a gift. Because to be honest with you, my KT aliens, you know, the people who watch these shows, y'all have been very generous to me throughout the year. You know, y'all have given me a lot. Y'all don't even realize if you've given me anything, but you have given me your attention, and you know, you've been an outlet. You've been an outlet so I could do these shows. You know what I'm talking about? I don't think y'all realize when it comes to the people that are lecturers or the thought leaders, if we didn't have nobody to talk to, what the fuck do you think would happen to us? If we didn't have nobody to share this information with, like, think about it. I would be on a fucking train talking to myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, you know, we gonna have a little broadcast tonight. We're gonna talk some things. I don't intend on being here all night, but we'll make good of our time. So before I even begin, you already know what it is. We're gonna do the roll call, customary. So let's do some roll call. I want to know who's in the building. Talk black to me. Where's the family broadcasting from? Where we at? You know? I think the thing is a little slow. Let me go ahead and refresh it. All right, boom. We got NC in the building, North Carolina in the building. You feel me? We got Detroit in the building, Delaware, Vegas, Tacoma, Dallas, Detroit, Louisiana, Virgin Islands, Raleigh, Florida. The brother said that he was from the land of Florida where the hidden mounds was at. I felt that. Cocoa, Florida, the gardens in South Kakalaka, Connecticut, Baltimore, Sanford, Florida. You could be specific too. Tell me what block you niggas is on. Greensboro in the building, chef. Salute to Greensboro. New Jersey, ATL in the building. Dominican Republic, Thomasville, Georgia. Oh, okay. Gibson, Louisiana, 757 Norfolk, West Phoenix, Hartford, Connecticut. This is your first time? Salute, welcome. Okay? Welcome, Hartford. Detroit, the West Side, right? What up, though? Delaware, Minneapolis, Detroit, Joy Road, okay, Joy Road, Monroe, Savannah. I was just playing when I say name your block. I don't want nobody spinning your block. You don't got to do that. Brownsville, Prospect, and Saratoga. Oh, the boys is in here. Is that Rowdy Rebel? Is that Rowdy Rebel watching me? You know what I'm talking about? You on the highway? All right, drive safe, Wayne's World. Wayne's World is on the highway. You in one of them trucks? Salute to all of my truckers. I got a big trucker listening audience. Mind them who the CDL license, the people that be in them big trucks.
I got a big trucker audience because they say, yo, I could listen to you and ride down the highways and the time flies by. And I fucks with that because when I'm on the road, there's certain podcasts and there's certain people that I could listen. I'll turn a panic lecture on because the shit is 6 hours. So if I'm going to El Segundo, wherever the hell I might be traveling to, I'll listen to some Panic, or some classic Phil or Bobby, long lectures, and I just get into the shit. By the time it's over, I'm pausing it, doing my little research, fact checking shit. By the time it's done, I'm wherever I gotta be. That's just a cheat code right there. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you a trucker? Salute to the truckers. Hit the horn for me. Hit the horn. We might need you one day to move some product. And I'm not talking about nothing illegal. You feel me? I'm off work in the ride. That's what's up. I appreciate it. That's what's up. Playing on the phone kills time. On the internet. Because the shit is like Hartford. All right. Somebody said respect Hartford. They from CT. One day we're going to talk about the different towns in Connecticut that are different from each other. But not today. Okay? York, Pennsylvania, Charlotte, New Jersey, Allentown, right? ATL all day. You in the swamps of South Louisiana. Shout out to those. Woo. That's what I saw the other day. When you said the swamps, it reminded me of the movie that me and my wife saw the other day. Ma Rainey on Netflix. Did you see it? With Chadwick Boseman and Viola Davis. And she was playing Ma Rainey in a black bottom. We're going to talk about that tonight. East Texas up in this bitch. East Texas up in this thing. Salute to Vegas. Salute to Cleveland. The land of the rich bones. I hear you, buddy. Got the space heater on. That shit is heating my feet up. Ma Rainey. Let's have a conversation about that. Right? Very interesting. I didn't even know what I was getting into when I saw the movie. Let me see some emojis for the people that saw the movie called Ma Rainey. Just give me like a fire emoji or something. So, because I don't want to talk about something that everybody did not see, because you'll be like, what is this Negro talking about? But in the context to which I'm going to speak on it, I will be I will explain to those who have not seen it what exactly the context that I'm going to speak on, because I'm not doing a review of the movie. I'm speaking about what I saw and what spoke to me and the premise of that movie, right? There's a lot of fire emojis in the building. I guess y'all was on it before I got on it, so that's a good thing. Okay? First and foremost, you always have to give the people their flowers, right? I'm not going to spoil it for you. Whoever didn't see it, don't worry about it. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to give you some context. It's about a blues singer by the name of Ma Rainey. Oh, Queen Latifah did a Rainey thing too? I got to check that out. But Viola Davis, right? That beautiful sister, okay? That uber talented, thespian. If you don't know what a thespian is, it's a well-seasoned theatric actor, right? Somebody said, what's this movie? Ma, like, young M.A., like young Ma, like Ma, yo, come here, Ma. Like, hey, Ma. Rainey, like Rainey. Ma Rainey in the Black Bottom. It's on Netflix. If you don't got Netflix, my nigga, go steal you a password, or you know what I'm saying? Go get a password from somebody. Right? This is the last movie that Chadwick Boseman is in. He showed signs, right? He showed signs. Yeah. Bessie, Ma, Gertrude. Oh, her name was. She looked like a Gertrude. Oh, Queen Latifah was playing Bessie Smith. Somebody corrected whoever said that Queen Latifah had played Ma Rainey. Now, Ma Rainey and Bessie Smith were both blues singers at that time when blues was beginning to quote unquote go mainstream. Bessie Smith is known in history as one of the more famous ones, correct? Right? Ma Rainey would be considered like an underground artist in a sense. They said when I watched the little, after the movie ends, they have their little breakdown and whatnot. They said that there was only 7 pictures of her that was found. They only found 7 pictures of her. So think about it back in the days, coming out of the deep south and whatnot. I guess the picture thing wasn't big. You know what I mean? Like people wasn't taking fucking Instagram selfies and whatnot. They wasn't lining up. And she was probably, not into all of that. You said the stew scene. What was the stew scene? Let me think about the stew scene. Bring that back for me, the stew scene. But she speaks on Bessie Smith in the movie, but they're not highlighting Bessie Smith. They're highlighting the Ma Rainey, and it's not even her whole life. It's just one situation, or it's towards the end of her career where Ma Rainey goes to Chicago. Remember, Ma Rainey is from the backwoods of Georgia. Some of the places where y'all was just giving me the roll call from, right? She from the backwoods. You know what I'm talking about? She from the backwoods. Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Chadwick Boseman in the movie, you can clearly see that the cancer, right, was taking its toll. Okay, when Toledo was talking about the carrots and potatoes and how the color, yes. Is that pronounced Halik? Yes, sir. Toledo was played by what other movies did my dude play in? The old head. That wasn't Jeffrey, right? From the Fresh Prince. Was it Jeffrey? A Different World. Okay. That's the elder from A Different World. Good, he played a good part. And that's Fargo's Dr. Senator. Okay, because I'm not hip to I'm not watching Fargo as of yet. I will commit to watching that when I have some time. This is a theater play from August Wilson that has been reimagined for screenplay, similar to what Fences was. Who saw Fences with Denzel, right, and Viola Davis, respectfully, right? So Denzel is not in this movie, but Denzel is behind the camera as a producer, right, in this movie. He's basically, it's like, we're going to get behind this movie. We're going to make sure that August Wilson's play comes to life. And he lends his, I guess, I don't know if it's his money or he lends his expertise to the project. Like I said, it's a very well acted out project. When you watch it, you know that it's a play because it's not all over the place. It's basically centered in one setting almost. So, similar to like the movie 12 Good Men that they made a lot of us watch when we were in school and whatnot. That was the movie where they had the men who were on a jury. Remember that? Remember that was like required watching when we were all in school. I don't know how old y'all are, but when I was in school, they had a lot of us watch that. Mr. Gaines was the cafeteria guy in a different world. Okay. Okay. Somebody gave it a 4 and a 5. Right? Now, this is where it gets interesting. I'm giving you context. I'm just trying to, build it up. I'm giving you a little bit of context as to what I'm talking about. If you're with the missus tonight, fellas, or ladies, if you're with Bay, you know what I'm talking about? If you're with Bay, this is a good movie to watch tonight. This is definitely a good movie to watch. It will he married Jaleesa in the movie, and okay. What do I think about Bitcoin? We'll talk about that when I'm finished. You know what I think about Bitcoin? I've been talking about that. If you've been following us, if you've been listening to if you go into the archives, go back to 2014. We're in 2021. Go back to 2014. You'll see what I think about Bitcoin. I was telling you niggas to buy it then. You know what I'm talking about? I was telling you niggas to buy it then. Yeah. Cooley High, JD's Revenge. Okay, there we go. Now we know who he is. So August Wilson is the playwright. And they took the play and they made it a movie. That's what I've been asking our intellects, our creatives, our quote unquote filmmakers. I've been pleading to them, right? Through all of the platforms, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, wherever I could press play and be heard. I've been saying, look, peace, Sandra. Always in the building. What up? What up, though? I've always said we don't need to go outside of the space that we already hold. We don't need no big budget movie budgets. We just need some talent. We need a team, right? We need a team, and we just need to start shooting, because there's mad plays out there and there's mad books that some of our great ancestors and our master teachers have authored. J.A. Rogers, for one. He's put out multiple books. He put out Great Men of Color, Volume 1 and 2, right? 101 Facts About the Negro. All of that is a movie. You got the Marcus Garvey movie, This Waiting to Be Told. You don't even got to tell his whole life story. Just tell the story about when he was in Atlanta in the federal penitentiary. Just tell the story about when a nigga crossed him, when Hoover, not Larry, J. Edgar Hoover, and all that. You could tell one segment of his life, if anything. You have Octavia Butler, right, who's an Afrofuturist. You have so many different people. Why recreate the wheel? Why try to create some Negro subway novel when we have all of these works that are crying to be reinterpreted in film, right? Because film is a medium that our people, both young and old, and our people like our cousins in them, like niggas from Africa or the Caribbean, because I don't separate, right? I don't separate us from us. So they don't know our story. They not hip to our heroes. They're not familiar with our struggle like that. They don't know about our greatness like that because we don't even know like that. We just finding out. So I would feel, or I think that it would behoove us to tell our story without the help or without the interference of the European or anybody else who's not on our team, right? Because there's mad stories that need to be told. Drew Ali's story needs to be told. Elijah Muhammad's story could be told. Marcus Garvey, that's just the Trinity. And I could go down the line as to people that are named and unnamed whose stories need to be told. You know? I want to see the story when Ho Chi Minh was in Harlem learning from the Garveyites. And he took that shit back to Vietnam. And what he did to implement what he did over there. That's a great story. Yeah. The Fred Hampton movie is coming up. And, you know, people is up in arms about it because homeboy that's playing Fred is not an ADOS. You know? I hope he don't mess it up. I got faith in him, though. Yeah, Dr. Khaled's story needs to be told. Chancellor Williams. Yeah, a movie about that. The destruction of the black civilization. Hold on, let me see something. Glad you bring that up. I had that book with me the whole time I was traveling up and down. You know? Ivan Van Sertima got books that need to be reinterpreted. The Seminole Wars, 1, 2, and 3. That's a whole fucking trilogy. That's a whole trilogy. The Trail of Tears, the Black Wall Street story. Mad stories, yo. And then, you know, we could put some modern day. I just don't want you niggas doing the Dougie. Don't sprinkle the nigga shit. The you know, because a lot of people, they be in the culture and they be cooning and they don't know that they're cooning. Because a lot of people grew up without culture. You know what I'm talking about? They grew up inside of hip hop culture, but they don't know the aspects of hip hop culture, this fucking coonery. And they be thinking that they're doing something. You know what I mean? And I'm here to let you know you're not. You need to have some type of class and don't ruin, you know, that's like when they did the Madam C.J. Walker story and they was adding a lot of modern day coonery in that shit. And I'm like, leave that out. You know, and don't come in there with yes sir and all, because that's not how everybody was talking either. Niggas wasn't talking like that's borderline minstrel show. We have to learn how to differentiate high culture from, you know, pigpen culture, bottom feeder, you know, minstrel show, vaudeville type shit. That's not what we're gonna recreate. We need to fucking lie, if anything. We need to do a movie where niggas are speaking all the way intelligent. Did you ever read Frederick Douglass's book? Did you ever read the writings of W.E.B. Du Bois? Did you ever read the writings of Marcus Garvey? If they wrote like that, chances are they wasn't talking like they couldn't fucking think straight. You know what I'm talking about? Think about it. I read some of those books and I couldn't even, the shit was too deep for me. I had to put it down when I was younger. It was like, goddamn, what dictionary were they drawing from? So if they were writing like that, chances are they were not talking like the way that they always depict our people to be talking, like they fucking mumble rappers. You understand? That's a genre of what is known as the minstrel show. I'm going to walk through some things tonight, you know? I'm going to walk through some things. So let's get back to the movie before I walk through anything. Let's walk through this movie. Now, the movie highlights what is known as race music. Okay? race, music. That's the premise of what the movie is highlighting. It's highlighting a day and time where our brothers, our ancestors were migrating from the South. It's called the Great Migration. Look it up if you don't know what that is. The Great Migration is when our people from the South, Southern folk, right, were being terrorized by homeland terrorists, both of the European immigrant class. They were coming on boats, the Irish, the Germanic tribes, right? Even the small hats. And they were pushing our people off of prime real estate, which are the states that many of us were just now roll calling from. South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Alabama, Mississippi. What you know now as Mississippi, back in the days, they would describe our people as the Mississippians, and it did not entail just the quote unquote jurisdiction of the state that you know as Mississippi. When you hear them speak about the Mississippians or the Mississippi people or the Mississippi tribes, it's bigger than the state that you know as Mississippi. So these Europeans or Europeans who were basically peasants, you understand? Peasants who came on peasant ships, right? Who were not as skilled, they were not as talented, they were not as gifted, right? They were not as favored as our ancestors were during that day and time. They did not know how to work the land. They did not know how to till the soil, right? They didn't have any type of ties to the land the way that our ancestors did, both the Aboriginal autonomous ancestors, our African brothers and sisters, who the ADOS identify as their descendants, right? These Europeans had a mob mentality, right? That mob mentality was gassed up. They were gassed up by the movements or the formations of these white terrorist organizations called the Ku Klux Klan. Now, keep in mind, some of these Europeans that I just called out were not even considered to be white, or they were not even considered to be in the fold of what was known as highbrow Europeans at that time. Most importantly, the Irish. They were outcasts. They were seen as niggas with wavy hair. And so were the Italians. Italians were niggas with wavy hair, right? And the Irish was seen as the niggas of Europe. They were not considered to be part of the European fold, right? They weren't. So the Homestead Act, the Trail of Tears, post World War I, a bunch of shit taking place. And it pushed our people to the north, to the cities, the same cities that they're escaping from now. The same cities, coincidentally, that are killing fields now. I'm going to show you, right? There's a report that came out that basically said for 2020 that the shootings and the crime and the murders skyrocketed this year, right? And unfortunately, the places where the crime hit, right? There's a crime wave taking place, right? The places where the crime hit, right? The crime wave in New York, shootings up 166%. Murders in New York increased by 76%, right? Is the U.S. crime wave due to the Minneapolis effect? Was that the same place that George Floyd got killed? Or was that Minnesota? It's cold in Minnesota. What the fuck is the Minneapolis effect? Let's check that out. So I've often gone on record to say, look, we don't understand how these social engineers understand us, right? We're not familiar with how trauma and black death and what black lynchings do to the psyche of black people, especially black people without no fucking power or solutions, who are basically reactionary. They're not proactive. It wasn't like niggas woke up on some Panther shit. They got pushed to be Panthers. But then when they came to the rallies, they got greeted by the Pink Panthers. It wasn't no Black Panthers. It was the Pink Panthers. You understand? So they already lost the war before they even came outside. And starting from Trayvon, this is the Trayvon Martin factor. We talk about the Trayvon factor. Okay? These it started way before the Trayvon factor. It started back when they was killing King and all of them, when they were knocking the leaders off in the same places that got burnt down, the same places where our people turned up. These niggas start killing each other. Why? Because anybody that's into raising animals, you understand how that shit works. You motherfucking abuse the animals, and then they not gonna attack they not gonna attack the owner. They start attacking each other because they don't have the balls to attack the owner. So what happens in Ghettosville, USA, when they start killing us and then they militarize the shit? They put a foot on our neck, and then they leave us. They withdraw the police, defund the police, right? It's all psychic. It's a psychic. It's all dealing with the psyche. Defund the police. The shit that happened this summer where the NYPD was getting trampled on by the protesters and the looters in Atlanta when they was looting and running through shit, burning shit down, taking all of the stuff out the stores, right? What happened? What happened after, though? You didn't get no justice. No justice really came out of that. It's a bunch of niggas with new sneakers, some Air Force Ones, and flat screens. Then the police fake come in there like they're going to put their hand down, right? They're gonna put their hand down. We're gonna show them. Then they create this Hegelian dialect, and they're like, defund the police. The police is like, we not going to work, and we not even showing up to work. We're not gonna do our job. And then what happens? What's the end result? Niggas start killing each other wholesale. Wholesale. It's been happening ever since they've been doing this to us, right? All of this forgiving shit. I'm gonna forgive the police. I just want to hug the police. I want to twerk for the police. We should we should sit down with the police. We should have conversations. But all of that water that niggas is pouring on fire, all of that fake fucking Benjamin Crump interjection where these niggas is just jugging for a check. They're not trying to do, they don't want no smoke. They just want to check. Who pays in the long run? The hood, my niggas. It gets more violent after that shit pops off. Niggas start killing each other because they're frustrated and they're in fear. So, Alexa, play the Django. Remember niggas was Mandingo wrestling in the Django? Alexa, play the Django. Mandingo wrestling. These niggas get to Mandingo wrestling, and that translates to spinning the block. That translates to the drillery. Niggas drilling each other. That translates to, you know what? I hate myself. You know what I'm talking about? I hate myself because I'm so fucking scared of this white man that when I see a reflection of me, I'ma kill it. That's what you saw in the movie Ma Rainey. Spoiler alert, niggas. How about it? Spoiler alert. That's what you saw in Ma Rainey at the end with Chadwick Boseman. He got punked by the white man. But what did he do? Did he take it out on the white man? He said, I know how to deal with this white man. He was woke at that point. I know how to deal with the white man. The white man raped my mama. You know what I'm talking about? In front of my face. And killed my father. So when the white man took his music and gave him fucking peanuts for it, what did he do? Did he take it out on the white man? Did he make the white man feel his pain? Did he deal with the white man like he said that he was going to deal with nigga? No. He dealt with his own in a negative way. Yeah, there's a spoiler. I'm finna talk about what the fuck went on in the movie. I'm sorry. But let's get back to the story. Let's understand what this Minneapolis effect is.
Floyd started a movement across the nation, led in large part by the majority on the Minneapolis City Council calling for dismantling the city's police department.
But a movement is not a plan, and the city is now struggling with a violent crime spike. Tonight, a look at the big picture and why some believe a so-called Minneapolis effect has led to a crime wave in other cities. Here's Tom Lydon at the Fox 9 Investigators.
It's bigger than that. After
they
Freddie,
are never just numbers. They are lives lost forever, futures interrupted, families devastated.
I always want their families to know that somebody cares about all of Black lives that we lose. So it's important for me, for them to know.
Lisa Clemens surrounds her outreach office at A Mother's Love with the names of the Black men and women killed by gun violence. A former Minneapolis cop, she writes the names of those shot by police in blue.
Do you see the violence in the city right now as directly related to the abolish the police movement?
Absolutely. 100%. So when you say abolish the police, we want the police gone, dismantle the police, everything in a negative tone. And you think they don't hear that? Now you got cops out there saying, what do I do here? I'm damned if I do it, damned if I don't. What do I do here?
they're blaming the wrong people.
And 2020, far from over, is on a record pace for gun violence, with more than 400 shooting victims and 60 homicides. Many of the victims and suspects alike, just kids.
Someone took his life for no reason.
Fatima Green's nephew, Andre Comey, was only 17. Gunned down in front of a gas station. The suspect, another 17-year-old with a gun.
Black people need to stand together and let's take our city back. Let's stop this with killing our children. We cannot see another young one go down by a gun for no reason. It's not fair.
So much has changed since the police killing of George Floyd, and so little. The homicide dots still follow a familiar pattern, with clusters in near North and Camden on the north side, and Central, Phillips, and Powderhorn on the south side. Communities cordoned off by freeways and history. What has changed is the police response. Not the homicide detectives, but the cops in the street. Short-staffed, beleaguered, and leaving the department in record numbers. Minneapolis police officers are now making 80% fewer traffic stops. Those traffic stops often a key strategy in getting guns off the street.
Well, I think what Minneapolis is seeing is the same thing that's going on all over the country. We're seeing a reduction in proactive policing And the result is the crime categories that are most responsive to that, essentially homicides and shootings, are skyrocketing all over the country.
Law professor Paul Castle calls it the Minneapolis effect. His analysis of the crime data points to the killing of George Floyd in late May, the civil unrest and reduction of proactive policing in Minneapolis that followed, and spread to other cities like Milwaukee, Chicago, Philadelphia, and New York. He blames the Minneapolis-inspired crime wave for 710 more homicides and nearly 3,000 more shootings in the U.S. 5 years ago, after the killing of Michael Brown in Missouri, he noticed a similar Ferguson effect. The victims, he points out, disproportionately poor people of color.
We're seeing a reduction in proactive policing, things like stop and frisk, vehicle stops, things that police officers have to initiate. And I think what's going on in Minneapolis and many other parts of the country is police are just pulling back a little bit. They're both literally and figuratively under attack, and as a result, they're simply not engaging in the kinds of activities that are necessary to keep shootings and homicides in check.
But many see those traffic stops as part of the problem. Black drivers in Minneapolis are stopped 54% of the time for equipment and moving violations, while white drivers are stopped 30% of the time. But the black driver is 3 times more likely to have their car searched.
Does this style of public safety have any effect on violence? It feels like it's not.
After 4 months of calling for defunding and dismantling police, the city council is now asking the chief for new solutions.
Sort of flabbergasted by right now is colleagues who, a very short time ago, who were calling for abolition are now suggesting we should be putting more funding and resources into MPD.
High crime and lack of legitimacy cannot exist in the MPD. If we have high crime and we have communities that don't view us as legitimate, that's a recipe for failure.
The new reality is that in some of the highest crime areas, neighbors are no longer calling 911. And in the so-called autonomous zone around 38th and Chicago, police are clearly no longer welcome. Chief Arredondo says the city must start looking at the root causes of homicide the way accident investigators reconstruct plane crashes.
If we just stay status quo right now, we will end this year with numbers that are absolutely unconscionable that we should have in terms of community violence, but we will go on to the next year. And we won't do a deep dive as a city as to what caused all of those.
But even as the MPD shrinks, the mayor's new budget calls for another $2.5 million for the city's violence intervention program and so-called violence interrupters, people who know the streets and the patterns of retaliation.
But they're basically a reworking of the same well-worn programs that have been used in other cities, many of which do not work.
The Center for Homicide Research has been studying Minneapolis crime patterns for 30 years, establishing strong correlations with poverty, even proximity to liquor stores. But its executive director, Dallas Drake, says the recent crime wave is what he calls recreational violence.
Mayhem is free. You just go out on the street and it just begins, and it can be very organic in that it spreads, and the idea spreads easily. That everybody wants in on it. And a riot really is a good example of that.
And it will be worse. I don't care what anybody tell you, it will be worse.
Clemens, who began her career with Arredondo when they were both just rookies, believes he's the right man for the times, a police chief who could strike the right balance, but is also caught in the middle between a crime wave and its relentless numbers, and a city council that wants less, even as they ask for more.
So, the news is not going to give you the perspective that a researcher is going to give you. That's some bullshit that the news is talking about because, of course, it's the fake news. But they're giving you the statistics. They called it the Minneapolis effect, but prior to that, they had the Ferguson effect, where crime skyrocketed in Ferguson. They had the Baltimore effect after Freddie Gray, where crime skyrocketed in Baltimore and that shit became the murder capital. They had the Philadelphia effect. Now they have a few other effects. But the effect, in my humble opinion, is what it is that it's Hegelian dialect. So now when Kamala the cop and Joe Biden slide into office, they're going to utilize this defund the police movement and flip it around and saying, not only are we not going to defund the police, we're going to increase the funding on the police and we're going to militarize the communities. Now, when the militarization of the communities take place, it's going to create more tension. It's going to create more distrust. It's going to create more fear. And then what happens when people get into fear? They start to kill. They start to eat on each other. They start to begin to, what do they call that? They begin to, they begin to just, hurt people, They begin to exploit each other, right? Some of these hoods can't get no worse. Nah, they could get worse, bro. Like, they could get worse. Implode is a good word. They begin to implode on each other. They could get worse. Okay? Believe you me. I came through the 90s, my nigga. It could get worse. It's not even. They begin to cannibalize. Thank you. They begin to cannibalize on each other. Fratricide. Right? And that is what we're witnessing in so many ways. It's it's with cortisol, which is what's released in the human body when fear is injected. Cortisol. It's the cortisol effect, the fight or flight sequence. So niggas are fighting. Topple that with the programming that the culture is currently inundated, right? Through the record labels, who are in bed with who are the social engineers. Remember, it's radio programming, right? So the youth are being programmed through the culture to kill each other. So my whole thing is, how on God's green earth is the same place where George Floyd was lynched, where they were running around saying Black Lives Matter this? It was only in May. There was a huge movement with hundreds of thousands of people marching. Niggas got their calf muscles and their motherfucking glutes in order over the summer. You remember that? You remember there was a march every week? Dudes was hooking up with Becky's and whatnot on the march, on the Trail of Tears. So if all of that took place, and then what did they do? They start putting Breonna's name on the ground, George Floyd's, and everybody was walking all over it. So with all of that woke shit, where's the solutions? With BLM coming to save black people and y'all voted Joe Biden in office, what happened? Why is there crime sprees in all of the states where niggas said Black lives that matter? I'll tell you what happened. You niggas got put underneath another spell by this organization that are necromancers. Okay? This is a spell. And when these people get to their spells, and when they get to spirit cooking up people, what is the end results? More messiahs are dead than were dead before this whole shit popped off. So it's almost like George Floyd is the catalyst, or he's the scapegoat, or he's the cadaver that they use to do what? To invoke more murders from. Because it ain't like killings have stopped and niggas is safe. They're in more danger. The numbers are showing you it. And I don't want to hear anything about it's because of defund the police. That's a fucking lie. That's a lie. It don't have nothing to do with that. That whole defund the police shit, that's only the Hegelian to get more money for the police because they know that niggas are going to kill each other. They said they've been studying Minneapolis for 30 years. So don't think that they don't know Don't think that they can't crunch the numbers. Don't think that you're smarter than these social engineers. Don't. You're not. You're not. They're completely conjuring and spirit cooking. Completely. And your black people's favorite organization is in bed with them. Black Lives Matter. Who hate men. Okay? Who hate the concept of black men who are, heterosexual. Right? 7 times out of 10, these men have children. They're procreating. They're adding on. Right? They're adding on to the quote unquote growth and development of the race, right? They hate these men. Why do I know that? It's simple. Show me in their storied history where they've held up a nigga that's alive. Show me. Show me where they've put a man in the forefront who's breathing, right? Who have a wife. Show me where if they've given flowers to an alpha male. Don't judge me. You know what I mean? You niggas that are not alphas, don't judge me. I'm just making a point. Don't get in your feelings. Show me where if they put an alpha male, they call a cis male, right? That means a nigga who likes box, who's functioning, with, properly. And it's not a Jesse Jackson, one of these boulets, right? That has an agenda attached to them. Show me where they've highlighted one of the intellects in our community, one of the thought leaders in our community, one of the brothers or sisters that be on the front line putting their life in danger, right? Who got solutions, who got answers, and who got a whole movement. Show me where they've got behind and said, I'm going to put a few million on this nigga. You know how the rappers will put a few thousand on another rapper or another black man to get him killed? Where have they put a few million on a nigga to keep him alive? Right? Where have they put a bag on a nigga's head to make him shine and to make his plans come to life? Not even Black Lives Matter. Nigga, has Planned Parenthood did that? Has Black Lives Matter did it? Give me the organization that's actively doing shit like that. Please. I can't find it. I can't find it. When have they gotten behind a militant, somebody who was a reflection? All of these niggas talking about they the reincarnated Malcolm X and all of this fuck shit. Show me where if they've gotten behind, because when Malcolm X was alive, for all you niggas to be out here capping, trying to be a new Malcolm, Malcolm was hated. Not because he was scamming. You know what I'm talking about? Not because he was, not because niggas thought that he was not legit. They hated him because he was towing the line. He was motherfucking making coons uncomfortable, right? He was shaking the room, you bird ass niggas. How dare you say you the next Malcolm or somebody? Don't even say you're the next Khaled. Don't even say you're the next nobody. Real talk. Just say you are who the fuck you are and stop trying to stand in size 800 shoes that you niggas could never fill. You're not the next Sabi. Okay? You're not the next Malcolm. You're not the next Garvey. You niggas are not even the next Larry Davis. Shout out to Larry. You know what I'm talking about? Larry let that thing go. You niggas don't even have Larry Davis vibes. What are you talking about? And y'all niggas be eating that up. Because people, like I said, the culture has been programmed through radio programming. Man, I was listening to an episode. I'm going to show you this. Give me 1 second. Let me show you this. I highly suggest that y'all tap in to this broadcast that Doggy Diamonds had did with Hakeem Green. I'm going to get Hakeem Green on the show because I want Hakeem to go over this is the conversation. Did Clive Davis help destroy black music? It's on YouTube. Y'all know who Doggy Diamonds is. Let's not play crazy, right?
Now that we've helped people customize and save with Liberty Mutual, we can finally do some beach reading. So if you get a tough question, just say, that's standard. Everyone pays it. Next. Carvana.
Go to Doggy Diamonds TV.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Doggy Diamonds. This is Keeper 1000.
You could go to Doggy Diamonds TV,
you know why you click this.
and that's required listening.
Before I bring my guest on to drop some
right?
information on you, let me run my intro really quick. So that it said, after almost 50 years, the release of the complete Harvard report. Now that we've helped people customize and save,
look at all these damn commercials. That's when you know niggas getting checked. I got 800 commercials on it, but go and watch that, please. I promise you, and take notes. It will help with your research. I took mad notes. Okay, I took mad notes. Go and check that episode. It's like an hour and a half. They were going in about the beginning of the end of black music. There was a Harvard issued white paper. If you don't know what a white paper is, that's a research paper. It was commissioned by Harvard Business School. And it was put out during a time where black music, soul music, right? There was called a Philadelphia soul sound, right? Stax Records, Gamble and Huff. There was a sound coming out of Philly with Teddy and all of them. This was all black owned. You're talking about the Motown sound. You're talking about the Motown with when he had Michael Jackson and Jackson 5, all of these hitters. They were selling more albums to our people than who? Than Europeans, because we were not buying from them. This was before all of that segregation shit really was kicking in, where niggas wanted to be white, or white ice was colder than black ice, right? So Ma Rainey, the movie that I'm talking to you about, it showcases when that shit started to change. Something called race music. Race music, like I said, during the Great Migration, when our people moved into the cities, the record labels, most importantly, Columbia, right? And a few other ones out of Chicago. What was the one in Chicago? They were bringing our blues artists. They were bringing our blues artists to perform in those studios and cut records. Right? This was around a time when radio was just becoming a thing. Motherfuckers didn't know about radio. They were doing the Chitlin circuit. They were doing live shows and whatnot. Every black people didn't have radios in their house like that. But white people, like always, going all the way back to the troubadours, the Moors, all the way in Europe, them niggas always dance to our drum. They always move to the beat of our drum. They were always entertained by us. We're fucking court jesters. That's what we've been reduced to, court jesters. You dancing ass niggas, you. Yeah, Cadillac Records. You know what I mean? Happy feet ass niggas. We always been dancing for them. You know what I mean? We always been the dance. We always been there to entertain them. Right? So they've reduced us to being entertainers. Nigga dancing and singing for them while they take the lion's share of our skills, of our talents, of our sweat equity. You know what I mean? We get fucking 2 cents off of a $20 album. I'll show you the video where Beanie Siegel breaks that down on my Instagram. Yeah, the 5 Heartbeats, Cadillac Records, Big Fucking Red. All of these movies is going to show you where are they now, Unsung. It doesn't stop. It leads all the way up to today. Like, if I'm lying, I'm flying. If I'm lying, I'm flying. All the way up to the Liar Cohens. I was in Clubhouse. Niggas was defending. I was in a room. It made my stomach sick. It was like a month ago on Jay-Z's birthday, December the 4th. I'll never forget it. There was a room where it was mad niggas in this room. Industry cats. They were defending Liar Cohen to the point where they wanted smoke. Right? They were defending Liar Cohen to the point where they wanted smoke. They was ready to go to war. They were ready to spin the block for Liar. I'm talking about they were adamant. They had black women. They had black men in there. Young niggas, old niggas. These niggas was buck dancing. They was dancing for Liar, bro. I'm talking about they were pouring their heart into this cracker. The one who created the 360 or was, help pushing it. The one who's behind YouTube Music. The ones who's, really responsible for taking Def Jam and Xing out the movement of the artists that were coming prior to that. The KRS-Ones of the world, the Just Ices of the world, the Big Daddy Kanes, King Asiatic, Nobody Equal. None of those artists was on Def Jam. They pushed all of them out the way to start pushing, the commercialized version of Run DMC with Aerosmith, Beastie Boys, a lot of that fuck shit. Yeah, shout out to Rowdy Rebel. I seen a Rowdy Rebel interview. He did it with Complex. I need to interview Rowdy Rebel. I fucks with Rowdy Rebel the long way. If anybody knows Rowdy, tell him their red pill is hollering, right? The murder rate is gonna go up. I mean, granted, but remember, Rowdy Rebel and Bobby Shmurda got taken down because of their militancy. Maybe not on camera, but you got to understand when them people is watching you, they watching everybody in the industry. The feds is watching everybody. The feds is on top of everything. They're listening. They're watching. They got the engineers watching you niggas. They got the managers. Everybody's in pocket. This group, though, GS9 back in the days when they was running around, they were a little too militant minded for the likes of NYPD Hip Hop Task Force, and they took them niggas down. Okay? When I listened to his interview that he just did when he came home, I'm like, nah, son is not the Rowdy Rebel that went to jail. He's a lot more sharper. Okay? We have to have patience with our young brothers and whatnot. But he's moving. I like how he's moving. I don't give a fuck. He's in the gang. So he's gonna throw gang signs. You niggas be wanting niggas to come home neutered and whatnot. I'm not expecting that. You know what I'm talking about? That's not expected of him. But when sometimes you gotta listen. You gotta let people talk before you judge them. Let them say what the fuck is on their mind, and then you could judge. So when I listen to the interview, I'm like, nah, y'all niggas is playing. These young bulls, they need OGs. They need big homies, not around them on camera taking fake pictures for Instagram. They need niggas that's off camera. Don't take no picture of me. You know what I'm talking about? Don't put that on the gram. Nobody needs to know. But we gonna talk. You know what I mean? You might have some questions that I might have some answers for. You might have some ideas that I might have some ideas. I could put you in contact with certain type of people. You know what I'm talking about? Because somebody got to do something other than sit back and point fingers at these young niggas and wish on their demise like some bird ass niggas. Somebody has to be proactive. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody, and stop being scared to get around people whose energy might be a little more turnt than yours. So going back to what I was saying about this race music, Because keep in mind, the murder rate, like I said, is already lit in New York before Rowdy came home. It's a gang war already. There's a gang war in Chicago. There's a gang war in Dallas, right? There's a gang war in Memphis. There's a gang war in LA, right? Mad bodies, a whole bunch of bodies is dropping, and these are all young kids, right? They all drilling and whatnot. So look, here we go with the judgment. His name is Rowdy Rebel, and it's instant karma these days. Well, he got a mixtape coming out called Rowdy versus Rebel. I mean, come on, fam. Come on. Like, come on. Some people are going to be who they are. New Orleans is drilling. I mean, they drilling everywhere. They drilling everywhere. So the best option that we have, because the old niggas is responsible for 2 generations after them, right? So if you, whatever age you are, you responsible for the niggas that came after you. You set the trends. You set the motherfucking, I can't say you particularly. I'm not talking to nobody in particular because everybody is not outside. Everybody's not outside. Everybody did not have their hand in programming youth culture. Everybody did not play their part when these young kids was like 12 and 11 and 10 looking up to you, to what you was doing and what you was on and what you was listening to. A lot of y'all don't have younger brothers and whatnot or family members who was watching you on your gang shit or you on your fuck shit or you on your street shit. On the other hand, I feel responsible because I know what I was out here doing. That's so I know my responsibility. So I'm doing community service until I check out. That's how I give back. You know what I'm talking about? I see Rowdy Rebel and them niggas doing toy drives and whatnot, and they going in the supermarket buying groceries for the people in the hood. I fucks with shit like that. That's a form of community service. That, truth be told, that's how you clean your spirit. Truth be told, that's how you clean your aura. You go back into the same hoods that you was terrorizing and you give back to that hood. That way you could lift some of that karma off of you. That way because you go into another place other than where you terrorize and trying to do some good, what the fuck is that doing? No, go right to the people who seen you out there blowing the blicky, right? Back in the days, and what are they gonna do? It's called, it's like, it's a fucking hood voodoo, my nigga. They're going to cover you. They're going to cloak you. They're going to pray for you. They're gonna put a candle up for you. They're gonna make sure that you don't get pop smoked. Okay? There's a way to do this shit. So we have to pay attention to how certain people try to clean their aura or clean their spirit or clean their karma. You have to learn how to do this shit, because if not, I don't know what to tell you. But I know, and I wasn't terrorizing nobody. I'm not a fucking terror, my niggas. I wasn't, but I was with the niggas that was terrorists. You know what I'm saying? I was with the niggas. I was running with them. I was in a posse. You know what I'm talking about? I was in them people's stores and whatnot, tearing them to shreds. I was like Robin Hood in the hood. So I don't know. But what I've been doing since I put on these fucking kufis and whatnot, since I put this ankh on, my nigga, since I stepped out there, I put myself on a cross. When I was doing this conscious shit, it was looked down upon. You niggas have it easy these days. You could become conscious and become a hotep nigga and get you some a fucking bruja and get you get you a goddess the first day out. You could get chose the first day, nigga. Put on some shea butter. You could get chose the first day. You don't even have to go through the shit that we went through. We did all of the heavy lifting. You know what I'm talking about? We did all of the heavy lifting. The hardest jacket you niggas gotta wear is niggas calling you a hotep nigga. You gotta get off of that. You gotta get through that. But when I was doing this shit in 05, I was fucking ridiculed. Niggas threw me under the bus in my hood. Not to my face. But I couldn't sleep sometimes. My ears was ringing. I was a Brooklyn nigga in Harlem with the Black Power niggas. You know what I mean? They was calling the nigga fake Khalid Muhammad niggas. I was up there. They didn't even know what, they didn't even understand what that shit was about. You know who saved us? Loaded Lux, nigga. With the battle with Calico. He helped popularize this grown man fucking talk, nigga. I owe him a lot. Cause he created a shift in the culture. That's facts. If you wasn't there, you wouldn't understand. You think I'm ranting right now. You'd be like, what is he talking about? It's Christmas. This nigga had too much eggnog. But you had to be there. You had to be, I'm from the cult, nigga. I am the culture. You know how Little Dirk is, I'm the voice, nigga. I'm the voice for, I'm not the voice of this whole thing, because I'm not, my ego is not that fucking consumed. I'm the voice of my own walk. I could speak for myself. Can only speak for myself. My brother have a whole nother perspective. Other people got their own perspective. They have their own vantage point. I didn't stand in the same spot that everybody stood in. But goddamn it, I stood right there on 2/5 for more than 10 years on purpose. I had my hands in everything. I was watching everything. Well, I didn't have my hands in that. Not the fuck shit. But I was there. I seen it all. I was there when the cameras went off. You niggas, you were privy to seeing 30 minutes when the cameras was on. I was there for 10 hours. Front line. All kind of shit. I mean, shit that never made it to the camera. So, the community service, the shit that I do, that I don't get paid for. This is not a fucking job, my nigga. I'm not doing this to get you. I'm not doing this to get nigga rich. You know what I'm talking about? My whole pockets took a hit just doing this shit. You know what I'm talking about? I could have been hopping out of a fucking G5 right now, nigga. You know, this is not about trying to come up, because this is not a fucking come up. But my spiritual bank account runneth over. I promise you that. I'm able to look at myself in the mirror. I feel very good about myself. You understand? My soul is settled. When I tap out of here, I'm a fucking immortal, my niggas. I'm a legend for the work that I done put in. So, at the end of the day, put in the work. Put in the work. Don't worry about what these niggas are saying, because they don't really matter. Because to be honest with you, 8 times out of 10, maybe 9, they're gonna come around and try to be more like you, and you're gonna try to be like them. Once you off that shit, you off of it. You're not going backwards. These niggas is gonna catch up to you later on, but you're in a fucking marathon. Have you niggas ever been running next to Usain Bolt, nigga? You know how fast that shit goes? He's not looking behind him. Niggas catch up, Tyson Gay and them niggas, they catch up later on. They catch up later on. It's like running a fucking race and then slowing down, trying to have them niggas catch up to you. You don't worry about that. You keep it moving. Huh? Like Nipsey said, the marathon continues, nigga. You keep it moving until your fucking day comes. You might be moving so fast, these niggas will never catch up to you. They'll never catch up, but who cares? Keep it moving. Put in the work. Make yourself a legend. You know what I mean? Create content. Create a fucking legacy. You know what I mean? Make a movie. Make an album. Make a soundtrack. Write a book. Make a comic book. Create a video game. Fuck it. Catch a stain, nigga. Or one of the ops. if it need be. Be that legend. You know what I mean? Be that legend. We got a few martyrs out there. Be him. But do something. Do something. Don't be a nigga's follower. Don't be a nigga's fan all your life. You know, don't be that nigga. Oh, I knew that nigga. And what does that mean? You know what I'm talking about? What does that mean? Yeah, open a daycare center. Go buy you some land. Create a fucking city. Like I said, niggas did the heavy lifting already. There's a lot of us that did the heavy lifting. You don't have to do nothing. See how many niggas rode Dr. Sabi's coattail and now they nigga rich? They good or they good in the hood. They the CMOS kings. Kings of CMOS. They didn't have to do no work. They didn't have to get ridiculed for eating rabbit food. You know what I mean? They didn't have to eat unseasoned fucking vegetables before a Whole Foods came along. They got into this shit when it was lit. They got into this shit when it was lit. So being that niggas got into it when it was lit, y'all should be doing a lot more with a lot less time than the niggas who was in this bitch doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Cause that shit could take a toll on your soul. It could take a toll on your soul. You know how many wars we was going in? I'm talking about spirit wars, nigga. Intellectual, spiritual wars. Niggas attack you on a spirit plane in this community. 3 levels of chess. This is not spin the block with the blickies. This is spin the motherfucking cosmos. These niggas is out here spinning the cosmos trying to catch you in a dream state. Niggas is pulling up in the fucking astral realm. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So this is multi-levels. You just work. You just work all day. You just work. Everybody gonna expose themselves sooner or later. You don't worry about trying to keep up. You don't worry about what another nigga's doing. None of that means anything. Take it from me. I've been here long enough. That don't mean nothing. People that hate you gonna love you when you gone. I seen him do it with Dr. Sabi. You know how many people hated that man to the core, talk crazy about him, and now they on his coattails. You know what I'm talking about? Now these niggas is low key Sabi lovers. You know how much beef he had in the community with people of his class, niggas his age and younger. I seen it. You can't tell me nothing. I seen it. I lived to see that. Where your haters become your cheerleaders. Only when you die, though. They're not gonna ride. They're not gonna give it up when you're alive. Only when you're gone. You know? Only when you're gone. Rivals become idols. That's right. It plays out on all levels. If you know what you're seeing, if you pay attention to what you're watching. So at the end of the day, if you spend your time, if you slow down your race, if you slow down your marathon trying to worry about all of that, you're just gonna fuck yourself up. You're gonna fuck up your potential. So going back to what we were sharing with that example that the movie Ma Rainey showed you with Chadwick Boseman at the end, where the white man basically stole from this nigga. The white man promised him and didn't deliver it. The white man took his intellectual property and gave him peanuts for it. What did he do? He went right back in the back room with his compadres, with his band members. And what happened? The old man stepped on his shoes that he had just bought, right? The old man did something small like step on his shoes. He didn't take his music from him. He didn't take his intellectual property. He didn't throw peanuts at him. He didn't promise him something that he didn't fulfill. He just did something simple like step on his shoes. What did Chadwick Boseman do? His character's name was Levy, right? Levy. He stabbed him. He killed him. Right there. No negotiations. No de-escalation, right? None of that. He didn't try to kill him. He killed that man. He killed him. Stabbed him with a knife. Shanked him. That's the same thing that's going on in these hoods, right? Over the summer, George Floyd gets murdered. Then they start hanging black people. Niggas is like, nah, they committed suicide, right? George Floyd gets murdered. They start, we gonna go protest. We're mad. We're hitting the streets, right? We're going out in force. We're gonna show them, you know? Niggas start breaking windows, taking, stealing, burning shit up, right? No white people got hurt in the process though, right? It wasn't like it was a riot, you know, not to say that it was supposed to be, but we know which way the smoke went. We know which way the smoke was directed internally. And then all of this Black Lives Matter, this, that, and it looked like niggas believed what they was saying. T-shirts was selling, headbands, wristbands. Niggas got rich off of the Black Lives Matter paraphernalia. And then what happened? Huh? Not when the police left. Right? Not when the police left. What happened? Niggas start killing each other. And it ain't stopped since. Right? That's the same thing that you saw with Levy. Huh? That's the same thing that you saw with Levy. Levy did not take his frustrations out on the quote unquote person who was really in violation. Because if you watch the movie, you could see that dude who he was trying to, it was a white executive, right? And what did these white executives do? They showed you with Cadillac Records. They showed you with the 5 Heartbeat, right? They did what? They took their intellectual property and they gave it to the white boys to sing songs, right? Remember, they used to put white people's faces on the album covers. Race music is what they called it. Okay? But the record labels back in those days, they was like, you know what? We're going to record these artists from the Chitlin circuit, right? Which was like the South. Same way that they doing it now. We're going to record these artists from the Chitlin circuit. What do you think? Them getting niggas from all up in Louisiana, all in Atlanta, niggas from Alabama, mulatto in them, boozy in them. What do you think that is? We're going to get these people. Our white population likes them. And these niggas like them too. We're going to record them. We're going to have them sign a contract to give us their likeness, to give us their rights, to give us their publishing. We're going to trap them in a deal because we're going to loan them a few $1 million that they have to pay back with interest. And then we're going to put their music out and distribute it. And here you go, niggas talking about how much they distribute drugs and coke and all of these pills and whatnot, but they can't distribute a fucking album. They need a record label to do it for them. I don't understand. Why don't you use the same plug that help you get the motherfucking bricks to all 50 states to get your goddamn album or your fucking CD? You know what I'm talking about? Or your tape, your cassette tape. You know what I mean? Why you don't do that? You don't need the label to distribute things if you niggas are distributors of narcotics. It should even be easier because you don't have to hide narcotics when you're distributing them. Drugs, on the other hand, you have to hide that shit because it's illegal. So the same executives that are robbing and stealing from our people been doing it for so long. We don't take nothing out on them. You don't hear the drillers, you don't hear gang bangers, you don't hear drug dealers, you don't hear the shooters running down on the record execs. You don't hear them going up in them offices tying niggas up, but they doing it in the hood though. They shooting niggas' mama's houses up. They spinning the block. They shooting 1-year-old babies in the stomach and whatnot. Shoot the whole house up. Don't care who in it. They out here putting ransoms on each other. So what is that showing you? That's showing you that what? That not only are they afraid of the oppressor, but the oppressor has traumatized and programmed them to a point where they can't even see that shit. They're blind. They're blind. They've been blinded, right? They've been blind. They've been put under such a spell that they're blind. These people don't even realize that they're willful employees of their own demise. You understand? Like Louis Farrakhan has said when he was chastising a group of quote unquote black radio, black broadcasting, right? This group, for clarity purposes or for research purposes, for anybody that even cares and gives a fuck and wants to look into it, there was a group when black people had control of, you know, their quote unquote radio stations, right? Remember, there was a day and time where black people were on the radio, talk radio, right? There was black radio. It was not. Thank you, everybody that's contributing to the Cash App. I appreciate your support. You know, you're truly showing me that you appreciate this information, and that means a lot. Okay? So there was a day and time, and some people don't know about these days and times because some of our listeners are young brothers and sisters, and I salute every single one of the young brothers and sisters that are listening. What I won't do as one of the OGs, right, or an elder, right, is I won't chastise you for not knowing what we did not teach you, okay, because we're responsible for teaching you some of these things. I feel like that's our duty, you know what I'm talking about, to be the teachers. Henceforth, why I'm out here adding on and attempting to teach. I'm not chastising, I'm just building, right? And it was taught to me. So I'm only returning that favor. You dig? I'm only returning that favor, right? So if anybody is a student of Note Ledge Radio, if anybody is a student of, if anybody's alumni of KTL Radio, when we were on Blog Talk Radio in 2009, salute everyone. I appreciate y'all. 2009, right? You will remember Bob Law. We did 2 episodes with Bob Law about black radio, where he was forewarning the shift in black radio from strong voices to shit like comedians, right? That's how you have Ricky Smiley, D.L. Hewley, Steve Harvey, all of these niggas making jokes on the radio when the radio was not about niggas making jokes. When the radio was about black men being strong. Frankie Crocker. Even, you know, I'm talking about, I came up at a day and a time when I heard a black voice on the radio, that whoever the voice was, they sounded serious. They sounded serious. They didn't sound like they was fucking comedians. I don't need to laugh before the fucking song comes on. I'm not with that. I'm not into all of that shit. I don't listen to radio to be hee-haw and hee-haw, hee-haw. Because this shit is not a joke. So if you allow me to, I'm going to read briefly. Once again, shout out to Hakeem Green and Doggy Diamonds. I don't want nobody to think that I'm riding on their information, right? I'm adding on. Okay? I'm adding on. Bob Law, History of Black Radio and the Removal of Black Militant Thought. If you want to read it, or if you want to put this in your records, family, hip hop, and politics, this a blog. You could go ahead and you could put in this title, and I'm sure that the article will come up. Or you could go to Google, Bob Law, History of Black Radio and the Removal of Black Militant Thought. Okay. Over the past weeks, Hard Knock Radio has been doing a series of interviews focusing on the state of black media. Bob Law, he is one of the godfathers of black radio and has never wavered in using the radio as a tool for liberation. As a matter of fact, speaking about Dr. Sebi, right? Shout out to Dr. Sebi Jr. in the building. Bob Law, right? Bob Law was one of the key advocates to getting Dr. Sebi heard in New York City over the airwaves. Keep in mind, we're talking 80s, early 90s, no internet, no social media, no Facebook, no Black Planet, none of that shit. Okay? But somehow, some way, Sebi's lectures were filled to the brim, standing room only. He was, remember, Sebi was lit before the internet. Sebi was with Michael Jackson. Sebi was with Left Eye. Sebi was with a whole bunch of celebrities. This shall remain unnamed until, that's not my story to tell. How did they know about Sebi? Because Sebi had promotions. Mama Pill and other people who were working with him, they were getting him booked at the Amsterdam News. The article that he put out in the Village Voice is the article where he said that he cured AIDS, and that's when the boys came for him. But all of that was being done through press, right? He wasn't paying for no press, but the black media was stronger in those days than it is today. The black media was more about a purpose back in those days than they are today. Okay? So if anybody knows about Bob Law, then you know that I'm dead serious when I'm bringing this man to your attention. He is an icon. He is an icon in black media, not just black media. He's an icon in media. He's an icon in media. Okay? Just highlighting him. So this is some of his information. In our conversation, he gives a serious history lesson, not just on the evolution of black radio and the role it played in the black freedom struggle, but he also talked to us about their attempts to remove it, right? So there was a concerted effort and an attempt by the FCC and them people to do what? to get rid of the strong voices that were in black radio, right? So in 1996, this was all underneath Clinton. Remember, the Crime Act is underneath Clinton, and the deregulation of the radios, the Communications Act, that's in 96 as well. That's under Clinton, when they were unraveling all radio. Now you have Clear Channel. Now radio is trash. That was a result of 1996. Okay? So, Bob Law pinpoints much of the removal with the release. Hold on. Bob Law talked to us about how there was and has been an attempt to remove, silence, and erase any institutional memory of black militant and radical thought. Law painstakingly details how that has been happening and breaks down the reasons why. Law pinpoints much of this removal with the release of the 1972 Harvard Report, officially known as the Study of the Soul Music Environment. This was a white paper commissioned by Columbia Records and done by a group of Harvard business students on how to take over the black independent music scene. Clive Davis was the head of Columbia at that time. You know Clive Davis, the little fucking goblin with the slew foot, who was behind Arista Records, which is behind Bad Boy Records. He signed Whitney Houston and a whole bunch of other people. He's a pillow biter. When I was working at J Records, he came in the elevator because, you know, he was the head of J Records. Bruh, I never felt so uncomfortable in a fucking elevator in my life. Okay? Just his energy. So Clive Davis was the head of the Columbia at that time. Bob Law details how that report coincided with other attempts in film and in TV to eradicate, marginalize, and ridicule strident, politicized black voices in the music and entertainment industry. During our discussion, we play an excerpt from a speech given to black music industry executives by Minister Farrakhan in 1979, who makes note of this change. That speech is contrasted with a speech Martin Luther King gave to a similar body of black music industry folks in August of 1967, where he heaped praise on them and emphasized that there would be no civil rights movement had it not been for black radio. The organization he spoke to at that time was called NATRA, National Association of Television and Radio Announcers. During our interview, Law details what took place after King gave that speech. He explains that NATRA was destroyed by white industry executives who were concerned about their growing power and political influence. That destruction and silencing has never stopped. Right? This interview is a serious history lesson from a pioneering figure who knows his stuff. Now, it's a podcast, like right there. You could go listen to it. I highly suggest that you listen to it because Bob Law got bars, right? Bob Law got bars. Okay? He breaks it down. So, NATRA, right? This was an organization, NATRA. After they got rid of NATRA, right, they began to replace the personalities in black radio with the comedians. Malcolm X warned you about the comedians, and a whole bunch of other people's warned you about the comedians. You don't need no niggas to make you laugh when we at war at the end of the day, respectfully. You know what I mean? You don't need, these niggas are making jokes out of our struggle. And then as a result of that, niggas is on joke time. So you can't do anything serious. Now, in that podcast, he highlighted something that I want to bring to attention to the people. He highlighted when the marginalization of the militants began to happen in film. And one of the most glaring examples, or one of the most glaring quote unquote instances, was in the Superfly movie. Okay. He said it didn't necessarily start there, but he said when they showed and they depicted that scene, when he said they shot a scene in a famous diner in Harlem, right? With Superfly. This is the original one, my niggas, not the one that just came out. And there was some militants who was supposed to be like the Panthers. And they came up in the joint. And they pressed Goldie, who remembers that scene. Give me a fire emoji if you remember the scene where the militants had came up in the movie Superfly, and they pressed Superfly about selling drugs in the neighborhood and all of the fuck shit that he was doing. Similar to what the militants was doing in real life. Mine like the Black Panthers, because remember, when the Panthers was doing their thing, even when the nation was at their heights, all of that shit about drug dealers having a fucking say over them, that was not true, bro. Go and ask your peoples. Go and ask the drunk, the fucking the wino at the goddamn I mean, it's Christmas. Somebody might be in a house with the elders. Let me lower my voice. You might be in a house with the elders. Go and pour one up. Go and pour one up to grandpa. Go pour one up to auntie. Go pour a fucking cup. And go back in time with her. Go roll one up if need be. Go fill up the pipe with some tobacco, my niggas, and ask them, yo, you remember when you was my age, when the Panthers was running this shit? Were they folding to the drug dealers, or were they folding up drug dealers and putting them niggas in garbage cans and trunks? Because that's what my father told me was happening. When you go and research Junior Mafia, when you go and research what was going on in Philadelphia, and when you go and research what they were doing in places like Atlanta, you know, them drug dealers was coming up missing. What's the dude from is it France Fanon? With the battle for Algiers. He said the first people to go in a revolution is the pimps and the prostitutes, because they can't be trusted. Them niggas have no loyalty. Okay? So in the revolution, they were the first ones to go in France when they were taking back Morocco. They put them niggas in the trunks. They cleaned them up. Because if you for sale, you don't have no morals. Respectfully, you don't. You can't unmoral yourself. When you're demoralized, you can't get it back. You don't have no integrity. So how can we go to war and you're going to be the monkey in the middle? You're not loyal. You're going to cross somebody. You're a fucking traitor. So you're going to get washed. You know what I'm saying? That is what it is in wartime. So the simple fact that they're demoralizing our whole culture with whole culture, the fact that they're demoralizing our communities where everybody wants to be a fucking pimp or a prostitute, you got to think about that. Everybody's for sale. Nobody's really solid like that. If you have a price tag, if you think that $40 cash apps is the way to the fucking victory, then you're not. Who you could be used by the enemy easily. They got a lot of $40 hits for you. They got a lot of $40 to go around. So this is something that the streets don't talk about, because like I said, a lot of the OGs turned into crackheads. A lot of the OGs, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the strong ones, they got compromised by the chemical war. but they were being marginalized by the industries. They were being, I call it the Sharif effect, right? They little broed them niggas. So let's take a walk down the memory lane. In Superfly, they pressed Superfly. That nigga showed them he had a blicky and backed them down and was like, I got this. I'm running this shit. And them niggas kind of like didn't have nothing to say. They cowered out. My father was like, he almost walked out the movie theater when he saw that, because he was like, in Superfly, more in particular the movie Superfly, niggas went into the movie theater with afros and they walked out of there with perms, right? Gordon Parks Jr., director. My pop said when they niggas walked into Superfly with afros and walked out of there with perms, and when they walked out the movie theater, they wanted to get the Coke spoon, because that was a rich man's drug. Niggas couldn't afford cocaine. They wanted the Coke spoon and they wanted to pimp some hoes. And they did not want to be revolutionaries anymore. That's the same thing that happened to niggas in my genre when they came out of Menace to Society. After fucking Sharif got heard. You know what I mean? After they threw Sharif under the bus. I don't want to hear that woke shit. Nobody wanted to be Sharif. Remember, Tupac did not want to play Sharif. He wanted to be Old Dog. Okay? We see it in School Days. We see it in School Days where Samuel Jackson, right? Samuel Jackson and them niggas was in a chicken and they was in a chicken joint, like a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they was going at it with Lawrence Fishburne. Remember that? Remember Lawrence Fishburne at the end? Wake up, wake up, right? They punked him in that movie. Right? So in damn near every single movie from Superfly onward, the conscious character was a motherfucking dweeb. They were marginalizing them out of the picture. They never gave them the heroic alpha role. They were not alpha males. You understand? They didn't have the baddie with. They didn't have the. They were not scoring the A1 actress. These niggas wasn't running with Janet Jackson, right? Here, the last woke song was Self-Destruction. Even in the movie Zebrahead, right? Higher Learning. You know what I'm talking about? Higher Learning. So NWA gets ushered in. The movie Colors come out. Colors was a little before. Colors come out. Boys in the Hood, right? Colors is like the priming of the wall. Boys in the Hood would be the first layer of paint. Menace to Society was the shellacking. After that, it was over. The music is one thing. The music is the soundtrack. But the soundtrack to what? Because it wasn't the music videos. It wasn't the music videos. Because the music videos, because to be honest with you, NWA began somewhat militant. This is the power of street knowledge. They were somewhat militant. They were not on, only when Ice Cube left did they really begin to descend into pure niggatry, because he wasn't there to ghostwrite anymore. It was the movies that did it. It was the movies that made niggas want to pick up the motherfucking rags. He had South Central. It was the movies. Colors, yeah, Colors showed you that there was size to the shit. Colors gave you the size to pick. You understand? The color, because in New York, we had posses. And it wasn't 2 gangs. It was like 5 or 6. So we were more neighborhood based. You had Decepticons, you had Lowlives, you had Criminal Empire, you know what I mean? You had the Jamaicans with the Shower Posse. You had a lot of different shit going on. We didn't have 1 and 2. We had multiple crews and whatnot, and people would get along. We didn't have that type of mentality that, oh, it's on sight the minute we see a nigga with red on and whatnot. It wasn't really like that. We would rumble. Niggas would get it on. We would rumble. We would cut with razors. And then when we locked up on Rikers Island, it was a borough thing. Queens. Remember that? Any niggas from Queens? You ever been locked up? Niggas would be like, Queens. We would clown Queens niggas. You know what I'm talking about? We would clown them niggas. Staten Island, before the Wu-Tang. Couldn't even say he was from Staten Island. So it was Brooklyn versus the Bronx. That's really what it was. The Colors movie, though, it started to introduce this 2 thing, red and blue. Niggas was like, wow, that's an interesting concept, you know. But it didn't necessarily, it wasn't like the minute New York people saw colors, they start gangbanging, because that's not what happened. The gangbanging thing really started that seed began to plant right after Menace to Society. Menace to Society was the movie was so ill. The way that the Hughes brothers put that together, that was a fucking spell. You know what I mean? Menace to Society is different than Boys in the Hood. It's both coming of age stories, but if you're able to decipher and break down, the movie starts out with the little nigga Trey witnessing his father, who was played by Samuel Jackson, body something. Yeah, South Central is another one. South Central is another one. And then it ends with the little boy, Jada Pinkett's son, watching Trey get bodied. Wait, not Trey. Kane. Remember, it opens up and Kane sees his father killing somebody at the dice game. And then it ends with Jada Pinkett's son watching niggas kill Kane. So it's bookended from beginning to the end with perpetual violence to the new generation, not the old niggas. It perpetuates itself. It's one of those movies where it's gonna carry on because, you know, the anti-hero who is Kane, he dies, he gets killed at the end, and now the focus is on the young boy, NBA young boy, the little boy, her son, who's gonna probably perpetuate that cycle. That movie right there was very heavy. Look, right after we saw that movie, there was a shootout in the train station. That's how ill that movie was on our innocent psyches. It put niggas that I know underneath a deep spell. And movies like when Bishop came out, Juice. So there's a string of movies. Juice was one. Juice put niggas under the Bishop spell. I know a lot of people who used to be in crews. They was in posses. Juice into Juice. Remember, everybody wanted to be Old Dog, right? After Menace to Society, they wanted to catch bodies on tape. They wanted to rob. They wanted to carry the Glock. You know, all of that shit. They was hot-headed, but they were still somewhat with gang, right? They were still with a gang mentality. Like, I'm doing this with the gang. Juice made a nigga want to stand alone and get on some body, catch a body shit on your own, like some late night shit. That's when niggas started wandering and becoming serial killers on, you know what I mean? Real talk. You had to be there to understand what it was doing. And then at the same time, we're listening to the music. Then niggas start smoking marijuana. Cause that's another thing. That's something that everybody wasn't into. That's something that everybody wasn't into. Yeah, American Me opened it up too. American Me did that for the Chicanos. Right. Right. You know? Different strokes. What you talking about? Yeah, Strapped was another one of them. It was a litany, like I said, it was a whole litany of movies. Clockers, Strapped, New Jack City, New Jersey Drive, Juice. Like all of these movies programmed us. All of these movies programmed us to be less compassionate about who the fuck we were. The Wire comes later. Even Belly come. I'm not talking. Those come later on. That's for the younger generation, right? By the time we got to Belly, we was already gone. By the time Belly came out, we was already gone. We was already on our shit. Belly just reinforced that. By the time Belly dropped, we was already on one. I'm giving you this. Yeah, Set It Off. Set It Off was 1, 2. Straight Out of Brooklyn. Above the Rim with Birdie. Yeah, niggas started getting on their shit too with Above the Rim. Above the Rim. Scarface, definitely. Scarface would be the foundation of all of these movies. That and Superfly, you know. Paid in Full, that's for the younger generation. That's for the drillers of today. The young drillers of today, that's their movies. Sunset Park, yep. Fresh, yep. Remember Fresh with the chess playing and all of that? Dead Presidents, yep. Remember that? Dead Presidents, yep. That had niggas ready. Dead Presidents had us on some old, we gonna rob a truck. We gonna rob the motherfucking money truck and paint our faces and whatnot. You know? I'm just sharing with you the impact of cinema on the young, impressionable minds. That shit didn't make us want to go to college. It didn't make us want to be Theo Huxtable. You know what I'm talking about? It encouraged, it helped boost the crime rate. I promise you. And I'm not saying it in a way where I can't even really chastise, you know, the movies, because what the fuck? We didn't study, Jason's lyrics. Definitely. And then the movies that really took it there was Tales from the Crypt, Chucky, Jason, Freddy. Come on, B. Niggas is drinking 40 ounces and watching Jason, Freddy, Kings of New York, Frank White with Lawrence Fishburne when he had the 2 guns. Come on, Hard Boiled, right? Yeah, we was loving all of those all of them Hard Boiled, the Chinese movies with what was the name of the director who was putting out the movie? John Woo. Nigga, John Woo had us like we was woo. State Property, yup. City of God did it for us with Lil Zay. Yeah, so I'm giving you a crash course. Some of y'all fathers is doing life. Some of your brothers, some of your family members lost their lives during these days. Some of y'all have, this is a day of family gathering. So, you know, my compassion, I've been able to return to a compassionate state by having children. You understand? I was not there when I did not have children. I did not get, if I didn't give a fuck was a person, that was me. You understand? Before I had some goddamn children, I did not care, bro. You can ask my parents. I really didn't. So being a father brought compassion back. So I have compassion to speak about my younger years, my rites of passage, my coming of age, because I'm just now being able to reflect thanks to the information that I'm able to receive, because I'm teaching myself what happened to me. The more I research is the more I'm able to break through the motherfucking spell that I was under. You know what I mean? And I'm still under to a degree to this fucking day, because you think I could throw the movies away? Can I throw the music away? The music is attached to my memories. The music is a time machine. These niggas, Snoop Dogg and DMX, start battling on verses. Nigga, I start remembering this nigga covered up in blood. And when I hear the song, regardless of what I know about the song, based off of my research, I'm still attached to the song because the song is tapped into my memory. So all I could do is be a vessel of what was going on for the younger ones who were in their cribs or who were probably being traumatized during that era, because that was a very traumatizing era. I always put on record, I never sold crack, and I know that doesn't make me better than anybody, but because I did not sell crack, and because I did not participate in that game, because my mother stepped up and told me that she would have somebody kill me and my brother if we were to disgrace her like that. And that shit kind of scared us. So we went boosting instead. But because I was selling clothes to niggas that sell crack. Remember, we had control of the clothing, apparel, boosters, polo, nigga, hill figure, right? Talk black to me. Like, these niggas was fiends to what we had. So we were able to, remember, we had a product that somebody wanted. And the people that wanted our product, they were not, quote unquote, fiends. Like, they were not down on their luck. These niggas had gold. They were shining. They were lit. They had bankrolls. They was hopping out of Land Cruisers, Lexus G400s and GS400s and whatnot. These niggas was clean. But like Jay-Z said, you buy a half price sweater for new. Boosters in abundance, buy a half price sweater for new. So we were the progenitors to the swipers. We are the progenitors to the niggas that's out here finessing. We are the progenitors to all of this shit, to the brands, to designer. There wasn't no designer before we came around. And I'm not talking about me in particular. I'm just talking about the low lives. I'm just talking about what the New York niggas brought to the table when it came to tearing these stores down. And before we came, they was pulling furs. You know, you read Iceberg Slim. They was doing that in the 50s. They was doing that in the 60s. We came, we improvised it with the polo, Ralph Lauren. You know what I mean? Niggas in the hood dressing like they're aristocrats. No, Dapper Dan was not boosting. Dapper Dan was drug dealer Chic or Chic. Niggas was buying Dapper Dans. Keep in mind. Understand what I'm saying? I'm saying that when I was coming up, you couldn't go to your mama and say, I need $1,000 for a coat. You was a goofy. You couldn't come to school and say that your mother bought a coat for $1,000. Guess what was going to happen to you? It was going to take that coat off of you. You understand? I wasn't a low life. I was down with G-Force. We had beef with the low lives. We was gonna take if you said that your mama bought something, you know this is Christmas. So if nobody was coming to school bragging about what they mamas bought them, you didn't get no points for that. I don't know when it changed. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know when that changed, but niggas was not bragging. You didn't put your moms to go buy you something. Nobody was into that. It was, what can you take? What was you catching on the jukes? What did you buy? Your mama bought you maybe some electronics like a Nintendo. Yeah, that was cool. That was everybody's mama was buying them sneakers. But you didn't get no bragging rights if you had a fucking silver spoon. And you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it took $1 billion out the store like the Olsen twins. Talk black to me. Like, nigga, I was living my bars. So when we was coming up, it was about how did you get it? If you getting it, how you live. It's just what it is. That's the culture. Don't judge me. No animals were harmed in the process. Nigga, I was taking my cotton back. And nigga, we was getting reparations before the ADOS. How about that? Oh yeah, Shirt Kings. Yeah. And when I was coming up, you couldn't wear certain things in certain places. If you went on a junction and you had on a polo ski or a teddy bear, or you had on some cookie boots, or all of the shit that these niggas is running around wearing right now, they was gonna take it from you. You had to fight for that. You had to be about that life. Yeah, I seen the Ralph Lauren documentary with Thurston Howell and all of them. You know, that was the other side of town. That's from Brownsville. I'm not a Brownsville nigga. I'm a Flatbush. We're not the same. You know what I'm talking about? Those were Ralphie Lowe and all. They got busy. They got busy, granted, respectfully. They got busy, but we didn't rock with them like that. We will all meet up at the skating rink, which was called Empire. If you know anybody from Brooklyn, ask them niggas about Empire Skating Rink on Empire Boulevard. That's where it went down on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? That was it right there. That was the proving ground. You come there to floss. And then we grow up later on and we start going to nightclubs. As we get older, we go to the Arc. And then we level up and we start going to the Tunnel. The Tunnel is one of the first places outside of Brooklyn that Brooklyn niggas venture to at night to go enjoy themselves and party. That's 93. And who was our grand ambassador? Who was our brand ambassador? A nigga by the name of Christopher Wallace. Okay? Y'all niggas know him as Biggie Smalls. That's our brand ambassador. He helped push the movement with his fucking lyrics. It was no Jay-Z before that, nigga. Jay-Z comes later on. That's the little homie. I'm just giving y'all history the way that it should be given on some of these Netflix specials, but these niggas is too moist to give it the, you know, because they wasn't there. They wasn't there. I could listen to a nigga in 1 minute and tell if he was there or not. They wasn't outside. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they wasn't outside. So you never really heard the authentic story on many of these documentaries, because even with the HBO documentary, they're telling the perspective from a Brownsville perspective. It's not the same. It's not the same. So Biggie Smalls, right, was our brand ambassador. He was speaking for us. I always say, when it comes to this music and the movements of the music, nigga, it's not the rapper. It's the niggas that the rapper is moving. What the fuck is you talking about? How is a rapper? The rapper is just a rapper. He's just fucking speaking about niggas that was in the hood. He's not the movement. The movement pushes the rapper. We solidify the rapper in the streets and in the clubs and in different states. We take your mixtape or your album and we go out of town with it and we popularize the motherfucking movement by the way that we move. That's what New York niggas did. We made the rappers. They didn't make us. They didn't make us. We made them. You know what I'm talking about? When they was when they was writing lyrics, they was writing about real people in the streets. Like 50 Cent took his name after the real nigga in the street. You understand? These are clones. These are clones. Jay-Z was not talking about Jay-Z. Biggie Smalls was selling dimes on Fulton. He wasn't necessarily talking. When he was Frank Wright, he was channeling somebody else. His mama didn't even know that he sold drugs or rapped. How about that? So how fucking serious? How you know what I mean? Think about that. Let that marinate. And salute to him for whatever he did to the culture and what he added on. But he's an artist. He's the talent. He's the talent. Somebody said that record companies control your attitudes. I'm just saying. I just read you the report that Clive Davis and these niggas infiltrated black music. Clive Davis gave Puff Daddy his deal. So yeah, these niggas have a hand in controlling certain. Yeah, it's intricate. It's not one way. It's many different hands in the pot. We're being kind of pulled in some directions. We're being programmed. But then we're programming, and then we're being programmed, and then it's a tug of war going on. And no one is innocent. Nobody, I'll never act like my hands is clean. Niggas in the streets, none of our hands was clean. It was criminology in the streets. We was out there getting it how we live. You understand? We were trying to stay alive. Niggas was really getting killed in them streets in the 90s. And I've said it before. In Flatbush, where I was coming up, before Biggie really started popping, we was on Bounty Killer, nigga. We was on At Ease. We was on Stone Love. We was on Beanie Man. We was on Super Cat. We was on Dance Hall Reggae, Gundalero. You know what I'm talking about? That was the culture. Gunman music. We was on that part. You know what I mean? Respectfully. I don't know what they was doing in Harlem. They was doing the Harlem Shake. I wasn't in Harlem like that. We would go up there for Grant's Tomb to get the shorties with the doobies and the Coach bags. That's the only thing we was interested in. Pre-Dipset, before they changed the landscape. Yeah, Lady Saw. Yeah, East 21st and Cortelia. Yeah, talk black to me. You know what I'm saying? Talk my language. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Nicodemus and Pliers. We was doing all of that. Hookie parties. Biggie, Raekwon and them came in 93. Wu-Tang. But I'm going to keep it a buck with you. They were considered to be backpack rappers to us. They were backpack rappers. They were like backpack. They were 1 foot in the backpack world and 1 foot out of it. Okay? 1 foot out of it. Okay, there we go. Sandra's in the building. That's one of my first girlfriends. She was that. She's a day one. She knows. Okay, she was there, nigga. I'm not talking out the side of my neck. I got witnesses, not just talking, nigga. This is all factual. You know, the niggas was more so on dance hall than they were on to hip hop. I'm talking about I was a hip hop connoisseur from the gate, but I couldn't, you know, I enjoyed hip hop in my own private space like that. But my community where I was around, it was a mixture between hip hop, video music, anything video music box. Dun, 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 dun. Rest in peace to Ecstasy from Houdini, 5 Minutes of Funk. Anything that Ralph McDaniel would play, the videos, that was platinum to us because we didn't watch Yo MTV Raps. Get the fuck out of here. That's when the shit got commercialized, nigga. Video music box, and not the box that you niggas was calling up on 1-800. Not that corny shit either. Not to say that it was super corny, but no, Ralph McDaniels, video music box, Channel 31, UHF. That part. And we liked all of the backpack shit, Brand Nubian, nice. Yeah, we liked all of that. We was with all of the Fight the Power, Self-Destruction, but that wasn't bringing the peace, niggas. Niggas was out there swinging hammers and cutting niggas with razors and robbing niggas on trains right after watching Self-Destruction. East 19th and Cortilio. Yeah, that's where Red Cafe and them lived. Matter of fact, Q the Kid, Red Cafe when they were the franchise. Bush Babies lived on 21st. Sticky Fingers lived around our way before he was Onyx. Special Ed went to Erasmus. I Got It Made. Always never shoplifting. Yeah, public access. So we was on public access and we was on dance hall. Why was we on dance hall? Cause you could rub up on some box. That's why, nigga. It was for niggas that was trying to get some box. And it was alpha music. So it was highly sexual and it was gunman music. It was the way that you could talk shit. Cause them niggas was about They was like black cowboys. They was like black cowboys. Before Jay-Z, Big Daddy Kane was that nigga. People don't even understand. Before Jay-Z, the hottest rapper in Brooklyn was Big Daddy Kane. Well, before Biggie and them. So it was the combo. Yes, she's right. Big Daddy Kane and Rakim. My nigga Biz Markie would be akin to like one of the, he wasn't, they didn't know, Biz Markie would be like a one of the top mumble rappers of today in a sense. Not to say that he was a mumble rapper, but he had swag, he was funny, he had personality, but he wasn't seen as a lyricist. He was a party. Niggas would go, the Biz Markies are going off. He was for the parties. Houdini and all of that, they were before them, right? Houdini was lit. Just Ice was a gangster out the Bronx. You didn't want to go to the club and run into Just Ice crew and him. No, not at all. BDP, KRS, he was that nigga too. He was him. When he was really on his, the Bridge Is Over and everything, he was that dude because he was merging dance hall and rap. He was one of the first rappers to do that. Slick Rick was him. Slick Rick was him until he went to jail. He had a shootout. He went to jail. And then Scott LaRock had got killed. That was the first murder that we've ever seen in hip hop. It hurt all of us. We didn't even know. We just know that he was the DJ. We didn't I didn't understand it. Yeah, Jay-Z was on the first tour Jay-Z went on was Big Daddy Kane's. So yes, he modeled himself after Big Daddy Kane and Jaz-O. He merged himself with both of them, and that's where you get Jay-Z from. But Big Daddy Kane unequivocally was that dude. More than LL. Yeah, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, KRS-One, LL Cool J. That's 88, 89, that's 87, 88, 89. They rule that. And towards 90, shit started to merge a little bit. That's their era right there. Biggie comes 93. Okay? Biggie comes like 93, late 93, and he runs all the way to 97 and he gets killed. He had a 4-year run. Now, during this whole time, Tupac is in the background heating up. Tupac is like 90, going up into like 96. You know what I'm talking about? I remember Tupac's first real hit is I Get Around, when he was on Video Music Box talking about he's getting around. And niggas was like, I could get with that. You know what I'm talking about? Because we are young. Yo, bro. I saw my son yesterday for the first time, my 13-year-old. I almost cried because he's no longer a little kid. This nigga's voice is mad deep. Like, he's almost as tall as me. I literally almost cried because I'll never have my little man again. You know? I'll never have a little man again. He's just gonna be a young adult now. You feel me? And I remember being 13 like that. Like I said, that was around this. Oh yeah, Heavy D was him. Now Biggie Smalls, right? Biggie Smalls, Big Papa, right? Christopher Wallace. Christopher Wallace, keep in mind, Heavy D's Jamaican, right? Christopher Wallace is Jamaican. Biggie Smalls Jamaican. Biggie Small takes a lot of Heavy D swag. Not the dancing shit because he wasn't a dancer. But Heavy D was a big fly nigga. So that's when Puff Daddy, who was behind shaping and molding his image. Remember, Biggie Small is the talent. Puff Daddy is the management, right? It's a different fucking bag. He's steering him. He's the visionary. He's the management. Remember, talent is replaceable, right? So yes, he got a lot of his swag from Heavy D. King Asiatic, nobody's equal. Nobody talks about Big Daddy Kane's grip on New York City rap for a strong Rakim is barred up. MC Light, that was Bay. And a lot of niggas was into MC Light. They just didn't know she wasn't into them. She was Bay though. Moni Love, Queen Latifah, or Moni in the Middle, all of that. Bay, Bay. Salt and Pepper, Bay. Bay. You know? Bay. You know? Brand Nubians, right? Punks jump up to get beat down. The shit where what's the shit? They was lit too. Grand Poobah was him. Grand Poobah was him. He was the one. He was fly as fuck. He had more, his bars, he was the top bar out of that group. Slow Down. That's the song I was thinking about. Slow Down. I think that might have been their biggest song for the Ralph McDaniels generation. Because remember, there's a video music box generation. I don't even want to say, because there's the Clue tapes. There's a Clue tape generation that came with the mixtapes. Then there's a video music box generation that comes before the mixtapes, where we would get all of our new music on video music box. Yes, Tragedy Gaddafi is him. He is the intelligent hoodlum. He's representing Queens. He had a rhyme pattern that Nori and Capone basically took or borrowed or learned from him. But Tragedy Gaddafi was definitely him, right? This is before Nas. So Nas is in 91. Let me not forget about Nas. Nas is like how Rakim was. Rakim was barred up, but he needed more promotion in a sense. G-Rap was definitely him. G-Rap was that guy. After Big Daddy Kane got with Madonna, she basically spirit snatched that nigga. She spirit cooked him, and he was never the same. He fell off hard. Bitcoin just hit 25. Niggas rejoice. Yeah, send me some. Yeah, Father MC and Busta Rhymes are Jamaican too. Facts. Now, Father MC was that dude. Right around the time. Remember Ill and Out Scratch? This is 92. You know what I mean? This is 93. Biggie killed all of that. But Father MC had bars too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas. Camp Low. Jay-Z took Camp Low's style. He was taking a lot of Camp Low's swag. Right? Big Daddy Kane was a dance. He was dancing with Scoob and Scrap. Like I said. Busta Rhymes. Yeah, Busta Rhymes was that dude. So this is how it went with Nas. It's similar to how it went with Rakim. They were barred up, right? They were barred up. Bars was crazy. But they were so reclusive and mysterious in a sense that it was like, damn, yeah, 3 times dope. They was dope. Main Source was dope. You know what I mean? That's Large Professor and them 3 times dope out of Boston. They was dope. That's all video music box era. Right? All video music box era. Yeah, Father MC was a ladies' man. He was that guy. The ladies loved him. He was on his chocolate, you know what I'm saying? Chocolate shit. You know what I mean? I'm a chocolate player. You know what I mean? He was with the shits. He was like kind of like a puffy. He had like a Puff Daddy dancing energy. You know, balls was kind of there. You know what I mean? But like I said, when Big came and he really defined that sound, the bad boy sound, you just heard a lot of rappers stop making music. Chubb Rock was that dude as well. Chubb Rock was him. X-Clan, they was lit. They was lit. Tim Dog, shout out to Black Dot. Tim Dog, he was alright. Yeah, King's Son, he was a gangster. Just Ice, King's Son, yeah, they was them. They was Bronx niggas. They was gangsters. You know, they were gangsters. We fucked with them. Boot Camp Click. People don't give Boot Camp Click their credit. Motherfucking Buckshot Shorty Ruck and Rock, they were them in Brooklyn for a few years. Just like 91, 92. They helped define the Brooklyn sound. Ill and Out Scratch, another group. But when like Biggie pushed all of that out the way, Wu-Tang Clan became more acceptable like after the Purple Tape and after Cream and Ice Cream. Right? Cash Rules Everything Around Me, because that's when they was not dirty niggas anymore to us. Because before that, they was like dirty niggas hopping out of MPV. It was like 800 niggas in the MPV. We didn't understand all of that. They were like stick-up kids in a sense. In our minds, we seen them like the stick-up kids. And that was cool. You know what I'm saying? But once again, when Foxy Brown, because I always say Biggie this, Biggie that, but keep in mind, Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim, remember, you have to add in the feminine element to it all. What made everything cool is that two baddies was now fucking with the rappers and they had bars. They had bars. That shit brought the baddies out. Keep in mind, niggas been going to clubs. You had Warehouse, Palladium. You had all of these clubs before the tunnel. But that wasn't a place to hook up with the baddies. It was a different type of party. The bad boy era, and it wasn't just the tunnel. It was Club Mirage. It was Envy. It was the tunnel. It was all of these puffy parties. I'm just saying that, bro, I saw women of a caliber and a pedigree and a stock, nigga, that I didn't even know they existed. I'm talking about shorties coming out in lingerie. Shorties coming out in Chanel dresses. Shorties coming out with furs and what, like the shit looked like a Hype Williams video. Roxanne Shante, yeah, that was way, you going way back. You're going too far back. I'm talking about 90s right now. I'm talking about the bad boy era. I'm talking about the bad boy. And then when Mace came in 97, right around the time right before Big died, right? Mace brought the Harlem niggas out and the Harlem shorties, who were, to be honest with you, from a New York perspective, those are wifeys. Okay, that's Bay. A Harlem shorty, this is pre-Dipset, because they changed the stock and the pedigree of the Harlem women. And not in a good way either. Right? Sean Poe is 98. Yeah, you know. The Locks, the DMX, Harlem World. Yeah, that's when it started getting a little dark in Harlem. But that little 2-year run with Mace in Harlem World. Oh man, it was a movie, bro. Dipset, yeah, the Dipset. It was a movie, but you know, it just changed things, bro. It changed things. It did. That's when the Mart was open. But yeah, they were, the Harlem chicks was considered to be. Remember Keisha from Belly, who DMX was with? That would be a Harlem chick. Remember Keisha, who was always greased up with the nice knockers? Yeah, that's like a Harlem chick. That's how we seen them. Yeah, they slept on Jay-Z. But did he sleep on himself? Right? Somebody said Dipset forever. Yeah, shout out to Dipset. I fucks with Duke the God, Casa, Jim, Cam, all of them. You know? That's a movement that you gotta pay homage to. That movement was silly. Like Cam was always silly with the bars. You know? He was always barred up. His swag was crazy. His style was crazy. You know? It was a little more street than Mace. And then when Mace ran, it went to Cam by default. DMX was that dude. DMX and Jay-Z, right after Biggie got killed, were fighting for New York. It was a DMX and Jay-Z for like a year and two. And Jay-Z edged them with more hits for the club. Jay-Z stayed in the club because that's where Big had most of his energy, in the club. So Jay-Z began to do more club music, right? Oh, Aguilar. Yeah, he was already barred up. You know, Aguilar is from like, that's tragedy, Gaddafi energy. You know, that's Mobb Deep and all of that. Yeah, let's not forget Mobb Deep's influence. You know what I mean? Queensbridge is a rap fucking castle. Like Queensbridge, going back to what I was saying about, keep in mind, it's that Long Island, Rakim, niggas just like barred up. These are like novelty artists. These are still novelty artists. They still part of the rotation, but they're not, you know, when it comes to Queensbridge, like Mobb Deep in them, they were rumblers. They was coming, when you seen them, they were with the shits. They wasn't out there flossing. They was out there with the shits. Capone and Noriega, I'm talking about shootouts. I'm talking about stabbings. I'm talking about niggas getting beat down. That's what they were coming with, that type of energy. And for Brooklyn niggas, they wasn't trying these Queens cats. Not them. They was trying niggas, but not them. You know, they was not trying them. Because it was, you know, they had you know, they had the dramas with them. They had the drama with them. They was gonna give it up. Lost Boys too. Lost Boys was wild. Lost Boys, Freaky Ty and them was almost like Bobby Shmurda and Rowdy Rebel when they first came out. Freaky Ty and Freaky Ty, rest his soul, you know, and Mr. Cheeks and all of them, they had like a more chaos energy. Like, you know, they were lit. You know what I mean? They were definitely lit. But like I said, with DMX, him and Jay-Z were kind of fighting for, and remember, this is mixtape era, right? We left Ralph McDaniel's era, the video music box era. That's over in like 92, 93-ish. Then it goes into the tunnel era, 93 to about, you know, when did the tunnel start losing its appeal? Really like 98 and whatnot, 98 in a sense. So like from 97 to 98, it starts waning out. You have Cheetahs, you have Envy, Speed. These are all clubs in New York City. 50 Cent is later on. Mike Geronimo, bars. Once again, Mike Geronimo was respected. He had bars. He was putting in work. He was repping. But if you go and listen to the classic Clue tapes, keep in mind, there was doo-wop, there was SNS, there was a few other mixtape niggas, but nobody had the impact that DJ Clue had. DJ Clue was breaking niggas on his mixtapes. DJ Clue he has classic freestyles. Yeah, shout out Ishmael. I talked about Juice earlier. I talked about the impact of Juice and Bishop and what it did to the mentality of New Yorkers when it came to how they were carrying out their crimes and how they were moving and whatnot, because the whole Bishop character was the lone gunman. He was the nigga who broke off from the crew, who really became a Judas of the crew. The crew mentality, the gang mentality that we used to have. We used to roll in packs. We used to roll in posses. After Bishop and after Juice, a lot of niggas started becoming one-man armies. You feel me? And started dealing. That's when you see groups breaking up. Even in the music scene, everybody wanted to be that star. You know? So I'm saying subliminally, that's what I seen taking place with that whole situation, the impact of Bishop. And then he brought it back with Birdie and whatnot through he brought it back with Above the Rim. Now, King Simon was on the scene. Shout out to King Simon in the building. King Simon was in the clubs. King Simon was in the dance hall. King Simon was in Brooklyn. You know what I'm talking about? King Simon remembers all of that. King Simon was a promoter. King Simon was lit. King Simon had songs on the Billboard. So he was performing and whatnot. So he know about Starlight, Biltmore. He know about Tilden. He know about Caribbean Dome. He know about Spectrum. He knows about many of those. They had clubs in Queens, Trafalgar Square and whatnot. Redhead Kingpin. Ooh, y'all taking it back. Yeah, y'all taking it back. Remember Shinehead? Remember Shinehead? Yeah, Sound Clashes. Remember, that's our foundation. The Q Club, right, and the Act 3 in the Bronx, the Q Club, right. Remember, our foundation with the reggae shit was the sound clash. Not just going to the fucking to club to listen to music. No, we was going to see niggas die. We was going to see the sound clash. Addies versus Kilimanjaro. Classic shit. You know what I'm talking about? Babyface and Tony Mataran. You know, classic shit. You know, Kilimanjaro, Bass Odyssey, right? That's my era. That's where I'm coming from. You know, nobody was fucking with Addy's sound system. And not even in Jamaica. The niggas was coming from Jamaica and they was bodying them. Clue tapes, my favorite. Yeah, that's before the shit really went mainstream. Now there was a whole era and it's called a clue tape era. It's called a clue tape era. And the clue tape era, I would say, broke and it solidified Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, Nas. These are freestylers. Fabulous. Oh, the locks popped off the clue tapes. I remember hearing niggas done started something and I rewinded that shit like 80 times because I never heard that type of rhyme pattern that they were rapping with. Him and Styles they brought a new rhyme pattern to hip hop. That's what the locks did. You know, that's what the locks brought. Cluminati. Ha. Yeah, Cormega was nice. Yes, Nature is nice. So yeah, I'm just saying on the Clue, cause he's a Queens nigga, he brought a lot of the Queens spitters. He brought King ID's is still lit. I didn't even know that. Okay, well I'm talking about Go and get the audio tapes of King ID's in the 90s, 93 when they had dub plates from when Bounty and Beanie was beefing with each other. You know what I mean? Original dub plates. You know, DJ Drama's later on. That's a little bit later on. You know? Oh, we brought up Heavy D. We talked about Heavy D swag. We talked about Heavy D being a progenitor to Biggie Smalls. You know, Heavy D was one of the first fly big niggas. Chubb Rock was a fly big nigga that was spitting too. You know, but Heavy D was dancing. He was making the lady tunes. He was fly. Mount Vernon. He had his bros dancing with him. Trouble T. Roy and all of them. And then they was linked up with my other dudes. Pete Rock. CL Smooth. Come on, man. Legends. That's Ralph McDaniel's era. That's Video Music Box era. And I'm saying it from my perspective because I wasn't in the club. I was too young. You know, I wasn't in the club during that time when I didn't want to go to the club too tough. I wanted to go to listen to the reggae, the dance, not reggae. It's not like we was in there listening to Bob Marley all night. Dance hall, Gundalero, you know, shit that you drink Guinness and go wind up on something because we was going to hooky parties. Niggas was playing hooky. That's how we started. You know what I'm talking about? We was doing hooky parties. Yeah, from school. Niggas wasn't going to school. We was playing hooky, trying to get some box. How about that? Niggas was trying to score. And then from there, it turned into the nightclub or the dance hall. You know, I told you niggas I met Vanessa Del Rio at Biltmore. She threw some panties off the stage and I still got him. How about that? Oh yeah, EPMD, Redman, Keith Murray, The Most Beautifulest Thing, Def Squad, all of that was 100. All of that was dope. Yeah, first reggaeton was El General. Yes, it was. Yep, in June. Remember, we would go to the beach, Brighton 6. We would go to the beach in June. I wasn't cutting school all year. I was, but definitely towards the end of the school year in June, niggas was having beach parties. We were lit. Yeah, K Solo was lit before DMX ate his food. Dead Prez, yes, they were some of the first conscious rappers who was on some street shit. They don't get enough credit. They merged the two. They're the progenitors. They're the prototype of street consciousness that you see today, where you have people who look like me, who are able to be themselves and still preach consciousness. Yeah, Manhattan Beach, Brighton Beach, Jones Beach, Brighton 6. We was catching front page stories and daily news on them trains going to the beach. You know? They was acting up, man. I mean, god damn it. They was acting up. Poor Righteous Teachers, they was good. Peach Fuzz. It was PRT. It was MF Doom, whatever the group he was in before he became MF Doom. It was X-Clan. All of them was respected. Right? Now, I'm saying all of that to say that I'm showing you balance. I've said all of that. I went through the memory lane because I'm here to show that there was balance. I named you reggae artists. I named you gangster artists. I named you rappers. I named you commercial because even low-key, MC Hammer, my brother loved him some Eazy-E. KMT, right? KMT, you know what I mean? I gave you a litany of different sounds. Gangstar, I fucked with Guru, right? I fucked with Guru. Remember, he became MF Doom after his brother died. He was in KMD and then his brother died in a car accident. Is that correct? And then he becomes MF Doom. He becomes a recluse and he changes his rhyme style. Lakim Shabazz was nice. D Nice was nice. Peach Fuzz. Niggas was doing a hammer dance. Ice-T. We was fucking with the West Coast. We was fucking with Ice-T. NWA, Express Yourself. If anybody tells you that they wasn't fucking with NWA when they first came out, they're a lame. Fuck the Police, Express Yourself was some of the hardest shit that New York niggas heard coming out the West Coast when it came out. We was stuck. We was like, oh, this is fire. I wasn't the biggest Eazy-E solo artist fan. Just keep it a buck with you. That was Blue Pill. I was hating on that nigga. Eazy-E. I was like, if he don't get the fuck out of here. But Ice Cube was that nigga, respectfully. He was. Ice Cube was him. His pen was crazy. Scarface, crazy. Mr. Scarface, nigga, I thought he was really doing what he said he was doing. Spice One, Super Legend. The song that he did with Tupac, the white tape, I still have it. Super Legend. Spice One. I'm looking into the software because I want to do a playlist. I'm not nice on a Serato. I would pay a nigga to do that. Force MDs was that dude's. Houdini, like I said, rest in peace to Ecstasy. Houdini was some of the first friends. How many of us have them? Friends. They taught me about friends way back then. Let's be friends. And love. The L, the L, the L. The O, the O. That was the first pretty boy, nigga. He was the first ladies man. Ecstasy. You know what I'm saying? And his name is Ecstasy, and that's the same shit niggas was on years later. Right? He was the first pretty boy before LL. That nigga had a fucking no shirt on in a vest. Niggas wasn't doing that. Niggas wasn't doing that. This nigga had light eyes with no contacts. Come on, with the Zorro hat. Come on now. Ladies, talk black to me. Yeah, Houdini. One love, one love. Lucky just to have just one love. And they had the 5 minutes of funk. Dun, 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 dun. And low key, I seen them niggas Where Are They Now episode. They was lit overseas. They was getting money overseas. I'm talking about overseas. Before anybody was going overseas. So we gotta give it up to Houdini, ecstasy. The L, the L, the L. Like I said, I want to do a whole party. Fuck a mixtape. Because I want to do a whole club. I want to do a whole night. I might live stream it for the people who can't make it. Like I want to do a whole segment. 3-4 hours in the club. Open bar. Right? Open bar type shit. So we could go into the time machine. Because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit up and throw I'm not going to throw the music away. I'm not going to throw the movies away. Yeah, Cannabis was busting when he first came out. We was rocking with him. I'm not going to throw the movie. I can't throw it away. How can I throw it away? And it is of us. I'm not playing victim. Nobody's music made me want to do anything, nigga. I was already corrupted. My files was already corrupted. You know what I mean? They just helped out. But at the end of the day, I'm not corrupted. And if I hear this shit again, it's not going to do nothing to me. So it's a part of my history. The same way that it's a part of your history. So I would never attack your music like that. I wouldn't do that. I'm not the Alcoholics. Yeah. Remember, here is something you can't... Cypress Hill? I really thought they was killing niggas. I didn't know that they was tree huggers. Nigga, super lover Casanova. Right, before Casanova 2 times. There was a Casanova. Rest in peace, Craig Mack. Do you know how rich our history is as a people? Do you know how yeah, I know Foxy brought the freak energy out. She did that. Her and Little Kim changed my nights forever, my nigga. I went from fighting my hands. It was me and Paul Meta. And then after they came out, life was good. You know what I'm talking about? Life was good. You know? They changed things. You know? Hell yeah. So if I could get a streaming network where I could play this music with like on some Frankie Crocker shit like Bob Law was talking about in the article that I just read, where he was explaining what black radio was. What the reason why Clue tape was so dope is because Clue was adding a narrative. He had his fucking sound effects. Illuminati, haha, Clue. Doo-wop, SNS, all of them had their sound effects. Mr. Magic Radio, even Funk Master Flex, because as corny as he is, that nigga was in the tunnel. He was a DJ who was breaking records in the tunnel. Before, oh yeah, there was a freak like me, Adina Howard. But, you know, I wasn't into cougars back then. She wasn't of my age demographics. My brother went to school with Foxy. I'm talking about these was young freaks. You know what I'm talking about? Queen Latifah brought back female respect. Yeah, and Little Kim snatched that wig off. King Simon, Little Kim snatched the wig off. We was listening to Lady Saw though. I was in the reggae spots and they was skinning out on top of their heads. So even before Little Kim and Foxy, let me rewind the tape. Shit was still a little bit, you know, it was getting a little freaky in the dance hall, but they brought that shit because prior to that, it was a sword fight in the hip hop party. Niggas was in there to rob each other. They was fighting all of the time. It was a sword party. The women that was in the club looked like the Lady of Rage. No offense. I'm just giving you prototypes. And they was pulling up in motorcycle jackets like Queen Latifah. And she was in character from Set It Off. Remember the character from Set It Off? That was who was in the club with us. Women like that. Women like that. You didn't know if they was trying to rob you or not. They was lining niggas up. Women like that was in the club. Okay? It wasn't no tenderonis, my nigga. Little Kim and Foxy brought out the tenderonis. They brought the divas out. Yeah, Cleo. They just pulling up like Cleo in the club. You know what I'm talking about? That wasn't my energy. I was looking for a tenderoni. I like them soft. You know? Somebody said they really thought the chicks were... I was the same way. I really thought that they was in love with me in the dance hall, bro. You know what I'm saying? They was gassing me up for 2-3 songs or one Guinness and it was over with. Because then they would go and dance with Jerome or fucking Dexter. I'm like, what happened? I had to learn the hard way. That there's no love in the club. You know what I'm saying? Twerking came from the Dutty wine. That's right, Azel. It damn sure did. We ain't looking at nothing new. They was twerking when we was little kids, nigga. They was twerking on their heads. How about that? How about that for some fucking gymnastics? I haven't seen anything like. Let's not even go there. Yeah, I was gassed up. Y'all shorties in the dance hall, y'all were wicked. Y'all had niggas thinking that they was in love. God damn it. You know how many times my heart got broken in Caribbean Dome? That shit toughened me up. You know? And then, like I said, here comes Little Kim and Foxy. They came in the game corrupted. And they turned that shit into something else. You know? And we still trying to level this shit out at this point. We need to slow the train down. We need to slow the train down because it became so accelerated and hypersexualized that the train might crash. Right? But life is centrifugal, so it has to go into a cycle. So before we get all highfalutin and whatnot, before we get so religious, we should take a toll. We should take an honest toll as to what parts did our energy play into fueling the train. Right? What in it? Oh, the Brat. Remember the Brat? Niggas was on the Brat. Especially when we seen she was with Allen Iverson. It was like, oh, she's really, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. She's into niggas. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, she could, yeah. Yeah, she was a roughneck, but still, you know what I mean? She had the cute face. Yeah, Patra. Pull up to my bumper, baby. You know what I mean? Niggas come from Patra. Patra with the braids. Young and May definitely Yo, Young Face, you a fucking legend. Remember Boss? Deeper, deeper. Young and May definitely reminds me of Boss. You are absolutely correct. I did not ever put that into perspective. Boss was a baddie too. You know what I mean? She was a baddie. Is Little Kim Caribbean? I know Foxy is. I think Little Kim might be at Ados. Yeah, Alicia Keys, when she first came out, niggas was in love. Grace Jones inspired all of those women. Yes, Strong J. You are absolutely right, King Simon. Strong fucking J. Adina Howard was inspired by Grace Jones. Yeah, Grace Jones set it off. I seen Grace Jones at Afropunk performing, and that put everything into perspective. I was like, oh, that's all her. That's all her. You said Boss had Tupac energy before Tupac came out. Yo, Boss was... I'm going to go watch her video again. That's interesting, bro. I'm glad you brought her up. I remember DOC had an energy too that niggas ran with. You know? She came up in Syracuse. Are you serious, Ishmael? I don't even see her as a Syracusean. Was she in school or something? The Lady of Rage. Dage Loaf. You know? Get the fuck out of here. Somebody said she was a lawyer the whole time. Lies. Lies and deceit. Lies and deceit, bruh. She from the suburbs? Nah. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They said that the whole time she was fucking MC Gusto, CB4. CB4. CB fucking 4, bro. I would have never believed it did that. But, you know, back in those days, they were able to mold. They had A&Rs, they had departments, they had A&Rs. You feel me? They had you know, they could create an artist. Yeah, Boss. Deeper. Y'all gotta go look into Boss. You know? Deeper. House of Pain, Jump Around. Yeah, they was them niggas. I loved House of Pain. Arrested Development. Artist Development. Yeah, they were able. Oh, Yo-Yo. Whoo. Bay. Niggas all want. Everybody want a Yo-Yo. You can't mess with my Yo-Yo. You know? Russell Simmons created the Boss gimmick. Russell Simmons created a lot of gimmicks. He was the gimmick maker. Okay? Charlie Baltimore, she somewhat had Boss energy, but you know. EPMD has something to do with Boss. They probably was writing for her. But yeah, I say all of that to say that we have a rich history. We're going to slow it down because we're at the 3-hour mark. You know what I mean? We have a rich history as a culture. Yeah, when J-Lo was dancing for Living Colors. Remember that? I used to be like, who is that dancing extra hard? Come to find out that was J-Lo. You know? We have a DOS effects. They want effects. Them niggas. The Jamericans. Paul, no. DOS effects was them guys. That's the Def Squad. That's Keith Murray and all of them. Redman and all of them. DOS effects with that fast flow. They were very inspirational at that time. Immature. Well, that song from PM Dawn is fire. The one that they got famous for. I ain't gonna lie. I heard that shit on the radio. I was bopping. Big Les. Yeah, she was a fly girl. Big Les was bae. You know what I'm saying? Big Les was bae. You know? Big Les was bae. There was like 8 thick chicks in the world and she was one of them. You right? Remember that? You know? So 90s Flatbush, real badman. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Rowdy Rebel. You know what I'm talking about? Fushnikins. Shout out to Fushnikins was them guys too. We can't sleep on Fushnikins. There was a time when they were them niggas. We're talking 90. 91, 90, Fushnikins. Chip Fu, my nigga. Remember Shaq Fu? Shaq Fu. Lie smooth. We ain't got nothing to do. Lie smooth. Group Home. Oh my. Superstar. Just to get a rep. 90. Remember, this is Group Home is Ralph McDaniel's era. Video Music Box era. They was affiliated with Gangstar and Premiere. Them niggas had flow and swag with them. Right? Group Home was lit. Lords of the Underground, I liked it them a little bit. Tribe Called Quest, yeah, definitely legends, super legends. They were running things, right? They were running things. What up, Nestro? They were running things. Tribe Called Quest, with the Midnight Marauders. I mean, Q-Tip is a beast. You know what I'm saying? They had like a good run. So I'm just saying all of that to saying I am actively going to bring all of this music to life. You know, it's only right. We're going to do a little bit more breakdown about the infiltration of the music industry and, you know, what actually happened. We need to talk about it. In particular, you know, the history going all the way back to, like I said, we started this show talking about Ma Rainey and what was called race music and how the record labels were taking our intellectual property, our likenesses, you know what I'm saying, our sweat equity, the things that we were creating. And they show you that with this blues singer named Ma Rainey in the movie with Chadwick Boseman. You know, she knew that she was a talent. She knew, she said that the movie, she break it all down. She knew that them Europeans was going to take her and, you know, exploit her. But she was at the end of her career. Her agent was in bed with the record executives, right? They were both small hats and they were working more together to exploit the talent and throw them $25 to perform. But when they pressed your record, they made $25,000 off of it, right? You just got $25. Shit like that, you know? And then from there, oh, Planet Asia is a fucking beast. Shout out to Planet Asia. That's the homie. You know what I mean? Always show love. I show love to the God. He's always showing love. He showed love with A.A. Rashid. Got him on a few records. You know, he's a genuine dude. And he was getting busy this year. He's still fucking relevant. Shout out to Rock Marciano. Everybody that's relevant. Everybody that's making music. Everybody that's still feeding the art, especially those that are independent. You know what I mean? I respect y'all. Big L, of course. You know, Rising Power, one of the illest to do it. Digging in the Crates, Diamond D. You know what I mean? All of them. Showbiz and AG. All of them is Lord Finesse. Yeah, all of them. Even Peter Guns and all of them. All of them was legends. They're all legends. You know. Yeah, 38 Special. He's working super duper hard. Benny the Butcher, Griselda, everybody that's working. You know, everybody that's working. The dude Havoc. They have a new project out from Flea God. I heard that the other night. That's fire. Ooh, Ross Koss. When I heard Nature the Threat, 1998 in Atlanta, for the first time I heard Nature the Threat. I had smoked some Reggie weed. I was laying on the floor. That shit took me somewhere that I've never went before. That was before YouTube and all of that. I never heard what he was saying. Bruh. Seen him in the club. And he knew who I was. And I knew who he was. And I tried to share with him what that song meant. But I know that he's heard that so many times. It's almost like when people come up to me, be like, yo, like I said, one of the reasons why I made sure I did this show tonight is because y'all have helped me in ways that you don't even know. And when I meet a lot of people, they say that, yo, you helped me in ways that you don't even know. I'm like, shit. Well, feeling is mutual. Because at the end of the day, even having conversations like this, tapping into nostalgia. Nostalgia is therapeutic. I'm able to heal by just going on a memory train. Rest in peace, Tone Capone. Rest in peace to Ouija. Rest in peace to Poop Man. Rest in peace to Cliff. Rest in peace to Bari. You know what I'm talking about? All of my day ones that I lost. you know, that are always in my heart. You feel me? All of these brothers that I named, rest in peace, Princess. You know what I'm saying? All of these people are part of this memory. Rest in peace, Prince. Rest in peace, Unique. Rest in peace, Scar. Like, it's so many people that we lost along the way. And this music and these memories are tied to them. So what would I look like getting all fucking conscious and woke and standing on a stage and acting like I'm better than the music or I'm better than these artists and these ooh, mob style. Sleeping with one eye open, hoping. Woo, remember that? Damn, that was dun, dun, dun. They had the beat that Ice Cube used on Birds in the Bush, where he was talking about where AZ was talking about being on Rikers. That was on Video Music Box Age. That shit brought tears to my eyes. Shout out to Outkast. Outkast, legendary. You know? Like, it's so many people that you know, people don't realize I deal with the loss of some of my day ones every other day. Every other day, you know. To this, I can't even celebrate the way that I want to. I can't even enjoy my life because people that I love is not here anymore. You know. So just reminiscing. I'm talking about the music, but like I said, I got memories that are tied to the music. I got memories, so the music can't be that bad, right? I'll never be like, oh, the music did this to us. I would say that these rappers of today, a lot of them are some weird niggas, and you know, they be acting fake dumb, especially when I be on Clubhouse listening to them. They be acting like they're fucking slow, and they're really not. I was in that predicament where I dumbed myself down for the people, for niggas around me, because I wanted to be, you know, I wanted to fit in. So you dim your lights, right? Around these niggas that don't have the same light that you have. So I've been in that predicament. So I know it when I hear it. And sometimes you'll sit in the rooms in Clubhouse and you listen to these niggas and you be like, nah, you niggas is playing dumb. You're not that dumb. You're not that fucking slow. You know what I'm saying? You niggas are really smart. You niggas are really nerds. How about that? You niggas is really blurs. And you just want to be down. That's why when I heard Rowdy Rebel's interview, going back to what I keep saying, the level of respect that I have for that young man, that shit jumped on so many levels. On so many levels. Because I heard maturity. I heard that he wasn't afraid to speak words of wisdom. He wasn't intimidated, right, by motherfucking growth and development. And the fact that that a lot of eyes are on him, they waiting for that nigga to catch some bodies and whatnot. The fact that he has a lot of influence, because to be honest with you, he is the Svengali of this whole New York culture, the youth culture, not Bobby Schmurder. Keep that in mind. He is what Capital Steez was for Pro Era. He is what Fredo Santana was for Chief Keef. He is what motherfucking Lamborghini was for ASAP Mob. That's who Rowdy Rich is for these Brooklyn niggas. All of the 90s niggas, all of the Woos and whatnot. That's who, not more so Bobby Schmurder was the artist. Rowdy Rebel is the battery. He's the Svengali. If you don't know what Svengali is, look it up. Look it up. So he has the energy, he has the power, and he has the fucking he has the messianic spirit to move these niggas. And when it comes to the youth, the only thing that I ask for, because I can't ask for nothing that I couldn't. The only thing that I was able to do was to change clothes. That was the only thing that I was able to do. So when it comes to, I'm not expecting a nigga to put on no goddamn Pope robe because I didn't put that on. You feel me? I didn't put that on. How the hell can I ask them to be what I'm not? So the only thing when it comes to, if I were to ever to sit down with anybody, I would just be like, yo, you got to change your thinking, because that's where it starts. You're not gonna turn nobody's nature. Read a nigga chart. If a motherfucker got all of these planets in Scorpio or Aries, he's gonna be a killer. He's gonna kill something. You just have to change the aim of the gun. You're not gonna change nobody's nature. You niggas, people be thinking too much of themselves. You don't have that much power. You should not want to have that much power. You feel me? But you can influence and you can show in your actions what it is. Because niggas is paying attention to the big bros. Niggas is watching us and they being divinely inspired by our movements. That's why it's always important to make sure that we step out like big steppers in the right way. Because if we fall, millions of people fall. If we fall, thousands or hundreds or just one, it don't matter. I'm not into counting on niggas. I'm not counting numbers. I'm not a fucking head counter. If I fall, I know that my fall will affect many people. So I have to watch the way that I step. Case in point, where I told you niggas, I'm going to take a few more months and just fall back. Don't ask me to be down with nobody's movement, because I'm not. Okay? Fuck out of here. I'm down with my movement. Okay? I'm down with my movement. I'm not running behind, or I'm not running with nobody. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Fuck I look like. If somebody out here doing something, nigga, do it. But I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I got work to do. I'd be damned if I keep putting my power into niggas. I got work to do. My work is more important than anything that anybody is doing. Straight like that. Niggas is always going to be doing something. When did that change? They was doing shit when I got in here. Whatever changed? Niggas doing something every year. What the fuck does that change? Show me the results. You know what I'm saying? So, stay 10 toes down, right? Mind your business. Focus on you. Get your health right, right? And clean your weapons. What else is there to do? You know? Not minding nobody's business. So at the end of the day, like I said, I appreciate everybody, you know, on this Christmas day. Happy Kwanzaa. You know, Hanukkah for you Hebrew niggas. And, you know, break bread. If you don't celebrate nothing, still give your loved ones a gift for just being who the fuck they are. You know what I mean? Break bread because the year is ending. The fiscal year, that is. You know, take care of those who have taken care of you. Spread love to those who've spread love to you. Kiss your babies. Hug them. You know, cherish the young ones. Because like I said, I saw my son, he's not a little boy anymore. And as much as I want him to get older, because that's what life is about, that shit hurt me to my core. You know what I mean? I felt like crying. Because, you know, I still remember. I still remember my little boy, my little man. You know, who's always rolling with me. It's like, damn, I got a newborn now. That's my new little boy. But now my young man is a young man, and now it really gets serious because, like I said, when you become a parent, the compassion is restored, and you look at this shit differently because now you're responsible. You said your boy is 8. Well, do your best to cherish all of those days as 8 up to like he's 13. When the fucking puberty kicks in, it get real creepy. And, you know, they change the same way that we did. So I'm only getting to see what my parents saw when I switched it up. And because when we changed, when me and Blue Pill became teenagers, we went very dark. We went very dark, and we put them through a lot. Just so I could sit up here and give you niggas a motherfucking rundown of, you know, my darker years. So no parent wants that. I don't, you know, I want to make sure that I don't go through that shit with my little ones. You know? So the fathers, daddies, pops, you know, these babies need us. They need us to have our faculties in order. They need us to have our spiritual health in order, our emotional health in order, because if your emotional health is not in order, you're going to be snapping. You're not going to be able to decipher things properly. Shit will be going on all around you, and you might not realize what the fuck is going on because your heads is in the clouds. Make sure that your thought leaders are feeding you the right kind of food. You should focus on what your appetite is. You know what I'm saying? If you have a thought leader who's all about fear mongering, it's going to fuck up your whole life. Okay? And subsequently, it's going to affect your children. Nigga, the world is not going to end. Okay? Get off of that stupid ass QAnon shit. Stop trying to tell people shit that they didn't fucking ask you about. You know what I mean? And be the better version of yourself. You niggas be all in a house trying to fearmonger the whole goddamn house down. Like, it don't work. Nobody's trying to hear you. No, niggas don't care. You understand? They have their own hangups. Cherish the fucking moment. Don't be you know, stop. Don't ruin the moment with all of this dumb shit that you heard from a nigga on YouTube who don't got their shit together, who don't got their family, who don't got nothing going on for them, who was mad square before they invented YouTube, and now they out here clout chasing. Like, you need to vet your fucking teachers or your thought leaders. You got these people that are angry, hurt people. You know what I mean? I peruse through YouTube sometimes, and I'm seeing who your teachers are. I'm like, God damn, the quality done fell. It's almost like the rap game. Niggas is the version of teachers is at mumble at this point. And you've been in the golden era of this shit. So you know what the mumble rappers look like and sound like. You don't need the fear mongering. Nothing is gonna happen to you. Because if it was gonna happen, it would had already happened. You know what I'm talking about? If your teacher's not sharing with you growth and development and what they do to heal and how they're healing from their trauma, right? And you don't see none of their children with them and around them, and they're not showing you none of that, or they're not telling you how to get to a bag and how to get your affairs in order in 21, imagine, just for instance, if all of the teachers was talking about cryptocurrency in 2013 They was like, you know what? Put $100 on it. Shit is $10 when it first popped off. There's somebody who bought a pizza with 10,000 Bitcoins because that's how cheap it was. Do you ever read that story? They was buying pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoins when it first came out. Imagine if a group of conscious thought leaders, because remember, these are thought leaders. These niggas are in charge of your thoughts, and they're supposed to be able to forecast into the future. So imagine if 2013, your teachers was not just telling you to buy the Bitcoins, they were showing you their crypto wallet where they had 100 coins, 1,000 coins, or they were doing rallies and whatnot, the same way that we were rallying around dead people and all of this other stuff. What if we rallied to get Bitcoins or Ethereum, right? I'm not even going to say Ripple because I sold mine the other day. I'm good. Fuck out of here. I don't want it. Where will we be as a community? Imagine in 2010, we were learning about stocks. Niggas is learning about stocks in 2020. Really? Imagine if we learned about stocks in 2010. Apple. And other shit. Imagine. Where will we be as a community? Right? Not just learn about it. Come together and start snatching it up. You niggas, we on Facebook all day. We on Instagram. Niggas is on WhatsApp. Why we don't got Facebook stocks? We use all Apple products. Why we don't own Apple? Niggas is talk about Netflix movies. Yo, go watch this on Netflix. Go watch that on Netflix. Why we don't got Netflix stocks? We could have had a whole stock investment group as a community. Why didn't the elders talk about that? They've been in the game longer than us. Why the fuck did they didn't know about stocks? What was going on? Where's the conspiracy? Is there a conspiracy to keep you niggas stuck? Is there a conspiracy to keep you in a place of just fear and not growth and development? What did they throw out there that could help improve your life other than go and drink some sea moss? And that's originally Sabi bars. Let me know. So what I'm saying is, and I'm not hating on nobody, respectfully, I'm just asking questions. Because the community have invested in a lot of ideas and dreams of other people. But those ideas and dreams seem to be personal ideas and dreams. Those was egotistical, me type shit. See? And look, you've been buying FB stock since it was at 38. You had them on auto buy every 2 weeks. Legend. Right? Legend. I'm just posing simple questions. Who was saying how to do it? I know that we were doing that. If you go into the archives, it's right there. We have multiple teachers that was showing you the importance of stocks and bonds, dividends, shorts, cryptocurrency, bitcoins. We had D Miller on in 2013. He was sharing, he was on the show. He sent me Bitcoin to my wallet right there on the show. 2013, 2014. Solutionaries, evolutionaries. The evolution will be digitized. I said it in my lecture. Go and get the Bitcoins right now. Hurry up. Hakeem Bey was giving it up. But what are we listening to? Do we not trust each other? Are we on the bandwagon to whereas we just listen to somebody that we're bandwagoning and we don't trust the words and the wisdom and the foresight of our brothers. And then we bring drama, negativity, and pessimism to the same brothers years later because we're mad at ourselves for not doing what they told us we should be doing. Or they not told us, they just gave us the information. They were being, prophets. They were prophesizing things. They were throwing things out there that, of course, is not going to be known at that time. That's what the fuck a prophecy is, nigga. They talk about it years later. They're giving you information before it hits. The album is out. I'm a connoisseur of this art, so this is my hobby. You know what I'm saying? This is my hobby. This is how I express my gratitude for the culture that I came up in. By creating art as an artist that the youth and other people, they could be like, yo, when they talking about their experience with hip hop and what was lit, they could be like, yo, the Red Summer or Scorpion King or the Twin album. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would love to be mentioned amongst the greats. Part of the movement. You know what I'm saying? Why not? And we got the merch. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Go to theredsummer.com and just go ahead and get your album. I'm going to sign them and send them to you. You know what I'm saying? I'll have them signed, sealed, and delivered. Got them on deck. I wanted to have some quality, so I printed it on the, you know what I mean? I didn't want to just do a regular old CD, so we got them thermal printed with the case front and back. Put it up in your collector's item. Put it in your safe or something if you don't, just put it up. But like I said, we're going to have a further conversation about the music industry and the infiltration of the social engineers, the quiet or the silencing of strong black voices in media by the quote unquote powers. I don't even like calling them the powers that be, the powerless, the haters that be, right? We're going to unpack it because it's very extensive. It goes very far back, all the way to the vaudevilles, all the way to coon music, right? There's such a thing called coon music, right? Let me see. There's such a thing called coon music. I'm not going to show it to you right now. We'll do it another time. I've been taking notes. But there's a thing. The Cash App is right there. Phil Moreland. The ticker. Did you see the ticker? And the website for the album is the Red Summer. You could click on the merch for the Red Summer store. It says the Red Summer store. That's where the merch is. You get your t-shirts, the hoodies. I just have to put the pictures of the hoodies up. We do have hoodies, but I don't have the pictures up. I'm going to try to do that. Not try. I got to do some push-ups now. I'm going to do that this weekend. Okay. So I want to thank everybody. This was a dope show. Happy holidays going into the New Year's. And I appreciate y'all. For real. I really do. Ishmael, Salute, King. All right, let's do something soon. King Simon, salute. Sandra, if you're still here, salute to you. I will see you soon. Yeah, and everybody that was commenting, that was engaging and building with us tonight, all of my nostalgia people, you know, go ahead and play some music. You know what I'm saying? Go sip on some fucking eggnog or some sorrel, despite, you know what I mean? Or some rum cake, and get into the time machine. We only, you know what I mean? Get into the time machine. Whatever music tickles your fanny. You niggas might be Keisha Cole, Ashanti lovers. I don't know. Everybody's different. We all come from different regions and whatnot. So whatever rocks your boat, you do that. You know what I mean? But like I said, we are part of the culture. We appreciate the culture. Culture ain't never did nothing to us that we couldn't bounce back from. I'll never run around saying that I'm a victim of the culture, because I'm not. So yeah, love and light to the culture, love and light to the fam. I'll see y'all on Melanin